This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Keeps. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months, so you don't even have to leave your home. And the price is right. Treatments start at just $10 a month, and Keeps offers generic versions of these medications to keep those costs low. Discreet packaging, proven results, and more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. Prevention is key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/bomb to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/bomb.
Hello, and welcome to the Giant Bombcast for Tuesday, March the 23rd, 2021. I am Brad Shoemaker, joined by Danny O'Dwyer, Jason A. Stryker, Jeff Gersman, and Jan Ochoa. Woo, 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 woo. That's right. That's the end of fiscal woo, woo, woo. We made it to the last week of March. Fiscal year has come to a close. What's everybody got on the release docket?
Everything.
What are you putting out?
We're dropping everything this week and next.
So many games.
That's right. Those investors. Got to keep them happy.
Yep. With their 401ks and their IRAs. Yeah. That's investing, right?
Whoa.
FSAs.
What did you just say?
The IRA is involved in video game development?
I don't know. I get occasional emails about like, hey, make sure you invest your stuff correctly, and I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
IRA, please consider your acronym usage for an international audience.
Okay. NWOs, AEWs, WCWs.
Do you get a tax break here if you fund domestic terrorism in Ireland? Is that a thing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I haven't tried. Yeah.
It's not as good as the tax break as you get if you fund domestic terrorism here in the States. But,
okay.
But yeah, if you're the overseas stuff, I think still counts for like 8% or something.
Plenty to go around.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Boy. Okay. Well, on that note, welcome to video games.
Welcome to video games. There's never been a better time to wait for the video games to come out.
Yeah.
Or support domestic. Nope. Let's just keep going.
No. Balan Wonderworld coming soon.
Nope. Don't play the music. We don't have it.
Oh, okay.
Been informed the codes may come in hot on that one.
If I were in charge of Balan Wonderworld, the last thing I would do would be send Balan Wonderworld to anyone.
I mean, they released a demo.
True.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the thing. I'd be like, oh, okay, all right. Review code request. Just delete those emails. Forget it. We don't need them. We're good.
Yes.
They can buy it if they want to cover it.
Jason.
Yo.
A game for which code came in ice cold.
Monster Hunter, like
Monster Hunter Rise.
2 weeks ago. Yeah,
how long have you been playing this thing already?
For quite a while, actually. Yeah. 50, 60 hours or so, give or take.
Jesus.
But quite a bit. I'm liking it quite a bit. I like the Monster Hunters.
Jason
there we go.
That's the litmus test. Is it a good Monster Hunter? Does Jason like it or not?
It does. Yeah, it is. It does hold up. They've trimmed a lot of fat off of the Monster Hunter, which is a good thing. They've sped things up considerably. You're constantly moving, constantly doing something, for good or for bad. The first things that they've kind of sped up is like the combat a little bit, and that's with the inclusion of the wire bugs. They're used for both traversal and for combat scenarios. So when you get like hit by a monster and send flailing, you can hit like a recovery type thing with a wire bug and get right back into combat. So you're not just like rolling on the ground like an idiot. I got bigger. Okay.
Being able to see what's happening on the stream is terrifying.
I realize you
And
guys
people can
haven't had-
watch. Go. Jason's got some style. All right. Okay. Now we can.
Yeah. As far as traversal is concerned, the maps, there's no loading areas or anything, which is great. But there's the areas are a little more condensed in that there's like circular wise, they're not as big, but they go this way an awful lot more, lots more verticality. There's usually only like one or two levels, but each level itself you can climb on mountains as well as you can anything else because of the wire bugs. What else?
So you're talking about? Are you talking about this in comparison to kind of the old style Monster Hunter that has been on these platforms before, or are you saying specifically in comparison to like Monster Hunter World?
Usually in comparison to Monster Hunter World.
Got it. Okay.
Unless all right. They are really merging kind of the old with the new, both in visual style and just like the quality of life access, with that they've introduced in like World.
We're doing the single
got
maps now. Like I know we've covered some of this stuff because the demo's been out for a while, but it's like
Yeah.
one map, Monster Hunter World style now, right? Like not the
there's
Yeah,
still
no
several
loading,
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no loading between map areas. Also, the loading's really fast. I don't know if you remember in World, like you'd go and eat, and then you have to wait like a minute and a half before your quest would load, and then go from there and wait another 10 minutes if you're on a PS4. But now it's just like you wait like 5-10 seconds. It's great. It's so quick. It looks pretty good on Switch. Runs at about 30 frames per second. I'm not super happy about that, but I mean that's to be expected. Although it does make me want to wait for the PC version a little bit.
Is that
because that
confirmed?
has been announced? Yeah, that's been
has?
confirmed, but yeah, not a date or anything yet. But yeah, it's tough because I've played through most of the game so far. There's a clear like cutoff point, and it's not like there's much end game there. Kind of after the fact. So like, if you want to, I don't.
Oh no!
If you wait, I think you'll be all right.
Okay.
Because inevitably there's going to be another version that is like a G rank kind of like ultimate. I would almost guarantee it. That's been the cadence for Monster Hunter since the beginning.
Look, they got to sell that Monster Hunter twice.
They will.
They released the base game. It adds some new stuff, but a lot of the content is brought in like a new like ultimate or G rank version or something like that. So
You've been able to. Are you been able to try the multiplayer at all? Because I know that was like getting people together, especially if they were at different points in the story and cutscenes and stuff. In World, it was like a nightmare.
So
the game's not out yet, so I don't know if you've tried and been able to try, but
a little bit. I've gone through the menus and everything. It's not tied to story stuff anymore, as far as I can tell. It should be fine. It's back to like the hub world. Like they're kind of siloed off and like single player content and then the multiplayer hub stuff. And then you can do rampages together and stuff. But whatever. It seems a little more simplified. It should work a little bit better, hopefully. But that said, I haven't tested it really that much, so I don't know for sure. But
cool.
We'll see. So what else is new? We got Switch skills. Switch skills are hot swappable like attacks essentially. So like I'm a lance user, I can swap out my shield block for this like parry move instead. So it really helps with finding helping you find a play style essentially. I love having the new parry attack. It's like it was instantly grooved into my playstyle. Yes, and grooving into my playstyle.
What's the weapon
bugs.
lineup like? Is it
Weapon lineup is the
same stuff or yeah,
same stuff, but everybody's got new attacks, and that's from the silk blind attacks to the switch skills. The silk bind attacks are they're done with the wire bugs essentially. They can they're hard to explain. You get two wire bugs. That's like a meter, right? each time you use a wire bug, it uses one of the wire bugs down at the bottom. You can use that for both traversal or for one of these silk bind attacks. Some silk bind attacks use 2 wire bugs, some used 1. But having to choose between the 2, traversal or using the silk bind attacks is a bummer. I wish they'd give you more. But anyway, use them for like a super duper attacks, like with a long sword, you run up and you stab the monster, then you flip up in the air and then come back down, and that uses the silk bind attack. Whereas with the lance, you can actually attach a tether to the monster, and you can instantly zoom in and attack the monster from on high. It's neat. Like it's a really fun dynamic. I really like the wire bugs in general. I just wish I could do them more. So it sucks having to choose between if I just want to flit around like Spider-Man on screen, or do these really cool attacks all the time.
Is this the most mobility you've had in like a Monster Hunter game? Because I remember
it seems like they've been going in this direction for a while with like the God, why can I not remember the Clutch Claw? Wasn't that the name of the grappling hook?
Claw.
That was
kind of, like they've kind of been going in more of like a swinging around grappling hook kind of direction for a while.
Yep. Clutch Claw is not exactly back, but some of the functionality is there. Obviously, with the grappling hook stuff, that the wire bug kind of takes the form of that. But also with like climbing and clambering onto monsters themselves, you can ride them now essentially. If you get them with enough silk bind attacks, or if you get them when they're in. When they fight one another, the big like kaiju battle.
Yeah, I love it when they fight.
It's still just as good. One gets knocked over, and then you're able to like mount it if you want to get it while it's down. And when it gets up, you can actually you attach a bunch of wire bugs to it, and you pull it like a puppet. Essentially, you can attack with it. Make it run into walls, or fight the other monster as well.
You can Ratatouille it.
You can Ratatouille it, and you build up a meter, and if it gets to a certain level, then you can do like a super attack with it. It's pretty fun. It doesn't control nearly as well as I'm probably making it out to be, but then again, it is like this big cumbersome monster that you're trying to control that's fighting against you. So I guess it's not going to be perfect. Let's see what else we got. Rampages are new. Those are like a tower defense mode.
Go on.
Those, all right. So that's kind of the setup of Monster Hunter Rise. Is in this world, the Rampage is coming, and the Rampage is just like a group full of monsters that are rampaging and trying to destroy cities. Your city in particular. Anyway, you've got this has been going on for a while. So what you've done is you set up a bunch of turrets and stuff and spots where you can put up bombs, or a manned arsenal of weaponry, and so much stuff, even other hunters as well. But there's a time when you're setting up, and then a time when it just goes off, just like a typical tower defense, I guess. You're aware that they're going to attack in a certain amount of time, so you run through and you put a bunch of auto turrets here, or maybe put a bunch of bombs here, and just let it go. It's not fun at all. I don't like it. Yeah, I actively hated the times that I spent with it. It was really no fun at all. It's very slow. You really don't get a ton of reward for it. And each time that it popped up on my quest log, I just instantly regretted it.
Yeah, do they force you into that stuff? Like in the course of the story?
The course of the story, at least a couple times. It's not too much. It's not like after every handful of missions or something like that. It's pretty spaced out, which is great. But at the same time, it's like, this is something that didn't need to be included. It's been an interesting ride with this game, because they mix things up just for the sake of mixing things up. And for example, like with cooking skills, they've removed a bunch of the cooking skills and kind of simplified it, and that's fun. That's great. That's wonderful. I don't have to spend as much time reading through menus to get stat bonuses. All right, but the way that they replace it is with these. They're called spirit birds, and these are actually placed out in the field, and you've got to go find them. And they give you stats to your health, to your stamina, to your defense. This is all stuff that you would get probably from cooking or from eating before a mission. But now you've got to go and find all these guys. So what it does is it makes this like, you have a route essentially with any monster, and it became so formulaic that you're like, okay, well, I've got to go to like 4, 6, and then 8, and then climb up here and go under here before I can even go and fight the monster. Otherwise, I'm not going to have the best stats. I suppose you could just go straight to the monster if you want to, but it makes it feel so mechanic, which is kind of a bummer as well. So I don't know if they needed to change that up. I probably would have just preferred cooking. I want to get right into the monster stuff, which for the most part they let you just do, because they give you the doggo, the palamutes. That's your little doggy friend, and you can ride him. You can go directly to the monster, which is great because you've got an owl friend as well, which will help scout out the area and tell you exactly where the monster is. So you don't have to, I don't know, deal with paintballs or anything. They've taken those out. Overall, like it really, it's almost like a Monster Hunter Turbo Edition in some weird ways, because, you're constantly doing stuff. They sped up even like gathering, when you're doing your mining outcrop, you hit like once and that's it. And you get like 9 things and you just keep going. And you can even do it on the back of the dog. It's like, okay, it makes it.
The one thing I want to know about this, and it's probably a hard question for you to answer as a very long time Monster Hunter fan, is like if you kind of got into world, like if you were like, all right, I'm kind of seeing what is good about Monster Hunter, and you had bounced off all the previous ones, like, is this going to pull you in even more, or is it just kind of more of that? Like,
it's like, I don't think it's going to pull you in.
If you're not all in as a world, you were just sort of like, okay, I get it, but I'm not like rabid for this. Is it going to further draw you in, or is it kind of more of that?
I want to say no. Just at the outset, it doesn't have a lot of the refinements that World did, as far as like changes to the systems. It feels like it's more geared towards some of the older players that missed that old school style of Monster Hunter, but still kept some quality of life improvements. Also, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's a little tough, but I don't know. This feels like an old school Monster Hunter to me with some of the stuff from World. Yeah,
it's weird. It's almost like it almost feels like they took the old Monster Hunter as the starting point for this one, instead of looking at this as like a follow-up to World, and just like went in some different directions when it came to solving some similar problems that World solved, right, in terms of streamlining things. And it's like they just, instead of going like, oh, we're over here, they're like, oh, well, we're back here at the last Switch Monster Hunter, and so this is a sequel to that, and we're following on for that. Like, I wonder, if this is the same team, or do they have multiple Monster Hunter teams, and maybe this was worked on by...
I don't think so. This seems like it was head up by the same crew. I'm not positive though, but overall it's good. Like, take away the rampage stuff, which you don't have to do that much. I think it's pretty rad. It's shaken up a little bit. Maybe didn't need to be, but the spots where they tried to make it fun, and that's where they hit, I think, is just like speeding things up. The wire bug stuff is dynamic. It's neat. That's my Monster Hunter Rise impression, I guess.
Jason's seal of approval.
Ongoing. Yeah, I think so. But if you're looking for this to bring you into Monster Hunter, finally, this is not it. It's still the same style of combat. There's no lock on. There's I don't know what you people are looking for. I don't know what you need.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure. Yeah, like I liked World quite a bit, but I didn't like it enough to care about Iceborne. By the time that came out, I was like, all right, whatever.
Sure. It's the same boat I was in. It's like, that's kind of what I meant. Like I get it. Like I totally see what people get in these games, but like there's something missing. There's something else I want out of it, and I'm not quite sure what that is. Like maybe a better story. Like
maybe it was a dog.
Whoa.
Maybe you needed a dog.
There's a dog you can pet now. I always thought it was combat related for some people, like it's not super fluid, it's not like an arcade style beat 'em up or anything like that. It's extremely,
deliberate, right? I mean,
deliberate, yeah.
I didn't mind the end of the moment mechanics so much as maybe I think just the repetition. It's just like it's at its core, this game is kind of a resource grind, and you're kind of gonna do these same fights or very similar fights kind of a lot to get the armor that you want and move on, and it's just sort of like that endless loop, which like granted I've played plenty of Destiny and Diablo in my day, so like
there's some good dog armor.
I'm not one to denigrate a loot game or anything, but there's something there at the end of the whole treadmill there was something that was not there, I should say, at the end of the treadmill that I feel like I needed to be pursuing some kind of goal or something.
Yeah, for me, it was always, the thrill of seeing new armor and weapons and stuff, and I definitely got that.
They definitely nail this armor looks exactly like the thing you just killed to get the armor thing quite well. Like, they do that pretty good.
I gotta say, there's some really good dog armor. Oh,
wait,
I never thought I'd be into dog armor, but it's a thing.
Don't make it out of the dog. You put it on the dog.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, that's an important. I was going to say, like, how many dogs are you killing to make dog armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, they kind of streamline that too. Like, whenever you make something for yourself, like some armor or weapon or whatever, you get a piece of scrap, and that's actually used to make the Palico and Palamute armor. So you don't have to use an entire piece of like a whole Rathalos tooth or whatever. Or wing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. What's up?
There's lots of neat little things, now that I think about it, that they're really trying to improve gameplay,
I need to
speed things up.
Chef.
It's a grandma this time, right?
Nothing.
What?
No, it's not grandma.
It's a kid. It's a kid, and she's got two Palicos, but they make fluffy bunny dango, which is the most delicious looking fluffy rice ball you've ever seen in your life.
Is it made of bunnies?
No, they're kind of shaped to look like bunnies, like the chopsticks kind of. They go on like shish kebabs or something like that. So I had some yesterday actually for my birthday. Lisa went in on a trek to Japantown to find some dango for me. Anyway,
happy
the sticks go up and they look like little bunny ears, and then she paints little eyes on them, and that's what makes it bunny.
Sounds delicious.
Dang.
It's a good song.
What ended up happening with the Monster Hunter movie, by the way? Like that?
It's out, right?
It
came out.
Yeah, it's out.
It came out.
Mila Jovovich.
It got pulled. It came back out. Right? Is that what happened? Like it's available for
Ron
viewing.
Perlman's in it. It is available for viewing. Yeah, here in the States. Like it came out in China first, I guess.
Right.
Tencent had a stake in it. So whatever. And there was a really like off-color joke that they made that was interpreted as being racist. So they pulled the movie and then took the joke out or whatever, and then put it out in the States. And nobody wanted to see that anyway. I did.
Did you like?
I swear to God, I thought that there was a Ron Perlman impersonator playing Ron Perlman.
Ron Person.
Get this awful.
Yeah, he just has someone that he can send to the bad movies and be like, "You take this one, man."
Right.
Man,
he must have needed a paycheck for sure. Jesus, that wig that they put on him. He's supposed to be like the Admiral or something like that from Monster Hunter World.
He plays Admiral according to this. Yes.
Admiral.
God, it was
just his name.
It was real bad.
That's what this says. Yeah.
Well,
but he knows English for some reason. I don't know, man. Like Monster Hunter World is like this different dimension. And then Mila Jovovich and her team of, I don't know, military dudes get sucked into this world for
DMCs.
somehow.
She has really carved out a niche of leading a team of military dudes into a video game themed movie.
Why are two of them
up with that?
rappers? Because you have Tip Harris and then you have MC Jin in
I don't know,
like
man.
the firing squad. All right.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
It's
That
currently
movie
showing in
was
two
real bad.
theaters near us.
Yeah, I saw that. Which no, thanks. Not gonna.
You can get it on Blu-ray. It's on Amazon,
Talking
like
about
all the digital services too.
Yeah.
So,
Wasn't Paul W.S. Anderson saying like, I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. I've been trying to get this IP forever or something.
He got it, and he included like
Yeah.
2 monsters.
Wait,
Well,
it's like
I mean,
that's
I
it?
had to make all these damn Resident Evil movies just so I could finally get to the my real object
Capcom
of
love.
affection.
Hey
Really?
Mila, you want to be in this one too?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
sure, honey.
there's really only
Make
two
a
monsters
Legendary
in it?
Wings movie next. That's what That's the end
Nah.
game. Is,
There's more than 2. There's got to be more than 2. I keep thinking there's like Rathalos, there's Diablos, and what else? They had some of the bug enemies from like World, the Nursilics or something. I forget what they were called. And I want to say there was something at the very, very end, but I can't recall. Can't recall. I'm trying so hard to remove this movie from my brain, and this is not helping. Damn it.
So you're saying play Monster Hunter Rise, do not see
Yeah.
any major motion picture Monster Hunter.
Yeah, hot take, man.
All right.
Shield
So
your
it's
eyes.
the official Giant
Right.
Bombcast seal of approval.
Right.
All right. And that's full price, the Switch
Yep.
game? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, they're releasing Amiibo with it. They've got like a whole Switch, branded Switch that they're releasing with it. So there's Amiibo support. It only gets you like like a handful of items per day or something like that. But still, it's nice.
I was having to explain Amiibo to my girlfriend the other day as I was holding a gigantic
go?
sack of every Disney Infinity thing ever made,
Oh,
and trying to decide what to do with it.
I would take those, by the way. But
The options, yes, the options mainly amounted to get rid of it in one way or another. So,
Jan, I'll see it in the thrift store in a few weeks.
Oh, dude.
yes, that's right. Coming to a thrift store near you.
look at that
I'm
kid.
trying
That
to-
kid needs those.
I want to see.
yeah, look at that kid.
I think my girlfriend's niece may have first right of refusal on those, but I'll get back to you. I'm trying to see what Monster Hunter Amiibo came out now. Magnamalo?
Magnamalos. Yeah, he's
Magnamalos?
Magnamalos. Yeah,
Okay.
he's the new flagship monster. And then Palamute and Palico. So there's 3 different ones. And then they've got some for Monster Hunter Stories down the road.
Okay.
It's the most
Alright.
obscure Disney Infinity toy in
I
that
don't
bag.
know. I'd have to go grab Anakin Skywalker.
They did a
That's-
Lone
that's the
Ranger
one. Who the
set
fuck is that?
from, like the Johnny
No.
Depp Lone Ranger
Oh
movie, didn't they?
no!
Oh,
They did,
boy.
yep.
Have
Was
a
that
one of the
Army
first sets
Hammer?
out.
Yep.
Who was
That's Army
was?
Hammer.
Wow, jeez.
there you
Army
go.
Hammer and Johnny Depp. Wow.
Kids, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
boy,
what a
that's
duo.
wow, yeah,
What a
boy,
fucking
that
duo.
fucking the Lone Ranger's really going places.
Oof.
Boy.
They're coming to your town. Fucking lock your doors.
I didn't know that guy was tied to the baking soda money. Like on
Wait.
top of everything else.
You cannot be serious. You
No, yeah.
cannot be serious.
That's
what the
100%.
What?
No way.
I
No.
thought Hammer was
no.
just a stage name, but apparently it's the baking soda people.
Wow.
What?
No.
Arnie Hammer of Arm and Hammer.
Yeah.
Like you cannot,
That can't. That's
dude. I feel like you're trying to get one over on me right now. As
okay,
I Google
all right.
this.
Did you
I
read this
swear-
on Reddit?
I saw it on a TikTok. All right, I'll say that much. I saw it on TikTok, and you can't trust everything you see on TikTok.
you can't lie on TikTok. That's the rule.
You can't.
This
This is real.
Collection. I found Armand
Business
Hammer,
magnate and
like
owner of-
Armand.
Yes. Apparently,
Yeah.
Armand
What?
Hammer, the company, was founded by Armand Hammer.
Oh my god.
His name is Armand.
I cannot go down this rabbit hole.
We can't do this right now. There's so many games.
Apparently, he is the great grandfather of actor Armie Hammer. Yes, you were. Good God.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God. We got it. I can't.
The hot
Should've
goss
seen it coming.
saved.
Should have seen
forever.
it coming.
I can't. I cannot. Just move
His
on.
name is Armand. How?
arm and hand. Yeah,
Like Armand Asante, only different. A lot different.
Yes, let's not. Let's just. Okay. All right.
Like that
Well,
Judge Dredd movie. Armand Asante was good in that.
Well, I'm at a loss about where to go. Just fucking where else to go from there but Monster Truck Championship, Danny.
From Monster Hunter to
Did you
Monster
guys-
Trucks.
I tried to. Did you talk about this last week? I tried to watch this podcast on my phone as my internet was out last week, and I thought I heard you talking about some kind of off-brand racing.
We did
motocross
get
type
into
thing.
monster trucks, but it was mostly in the context of motocross. And I'm so thrilled that back-to-back weeks we get to talk about the two alternative motorsports, but only because no one's making good tractor pull games in 2021. Is the Goldberg truck in this game?
No, it's not. It's weird that this came up because I think the point we were making was that there is a genre of these games that is like more arcadey that everyone kind of played, like Motocross Madness. Because we covered, what was it, Monster Energy Supercross 4?
Yeah,
was last week.
Yeah.
And that was like pretty simmy, and I was like kind of shocked at how simmy it was. It was definitely like made for kind of hardcore fans of Supercross. And then thinking about, like, because I know Monster Jam came out a while back as well. Like there are some sort of monster trucky games.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of taken, not, it doesn't go the whole way into sim worlds that Supercross 4 did, but it's definitely like trying to make a, you know, realistic career monster truck game. But it's more fun. I've actually had fun with this. So I guess this came out on other consoles and PC late last year, and this is a bona fide PS5 relaunch of it. So I won't spend overly long on it because I'm sure fans of this have probably dabbled or at least checked it out before. But it's pretty solid. It's kind of like par for the course racing game with like a career mode, quick race mode. The events, I guess, the way they're set up are in like 4 main disciplines. There's racing, which are just like, you know, your standard sort of race, couple of laps, not overly long, which I appreciated. Drag racing, which I've had loads of fun with. They're not on straightaways. They're generally just like little complexes. Destruction, which is your sort of arena. Yo, here is some, you know, yellow cabs and RVs. And yeah, do your thing. And you get points for crushing and for doing tricks, and mostly for chaining it all together in an interesting way. And then there's freestyle, which is basically that minus the destruction part. So it's just like an arena that you do backflips and stuff in. But the physics in it are really good. Like you control the front wheels with your left stick, I guess, and the rear wheels with the right stick.
Oh, wow.
Which is like a total, like, you know, rubbing your belly, patting your head kind of thing when you're trying to do stuff.
There's something, I think that is how monster trucks really work. I know the rear wheels on a monster truck can turn, but I don't think they have 2 fucking wheels in that.
I don't know how much control a real monster truck driver has over that necessarily, but yeah, it's kind of like in the Supercross thing, there were like 2 ways to turn. One was like turning and one was kind of like almost sliding, you know, like whipping the back wheel around and keeping it that way. Similar in this, if you want to do really tight turns, or if you want to do like donuts, or, you know, those donuts where they're on like 2 wheels, just like going crazy, that type of thing. It's like you're turning both of them into the dirt and trying to do it that way. But the coolest thing about it, and I think this kind of speaks to the modern controllers more, is the throttle control is so much fun. So like driving these cars really fast is like a bad idea. They just don't keep a straight
flip
line.
up and
so they're constantly trying to get out of the way. I mean, the wheels have probably got their own differentials and speeds and everything, so they're just like, they're going all over the place. So when you're doing the tricks and stuff, like trying to feather it when you're trying to do wheelies, or I think it's called bicycles if you go on 2, that's like a lot to do with the throttle, and there's no like arcade style aftertouch. Like if you're in the air, you've no control, or if you're on 2 wheels, you can't, like, you know, fudge it that way. Like in, you know, a skateboarding game, maybe you could kind of have a little bit of balance control. But one of the coolest things that I've noticed in that is that they have maybe my favorite ever race start boost mechanic I've ever seen, which is that they have, you know, like in Mario Kart and stuff and F1. I guess so in F1, but like, they have your sort of, you know, make sure you boost at the right time thing. And this one, they straight up have like the RPM meter has like a sweet spot, like almost like an active reload window. that you have to keep it in. And on the drag races, you have to like hold the brakes down, and then it'll count 1, 2, 3, and you have to keep it in there for like 3.5, 4 seconds, and then release the brakes to go. And it's like on the drag races, especially, it's I've done like 20 drag races, and I still find that like a lot of fun because it's kind of like the beginning or end of your race if you can nail it.
Do they use the triggers like the PS5, the DualSense stuff very well or at all there? Because it seems like that would be. We haven't seen a lot of driving games on PS5 yet, so it's kind of.
Yeah, and it uses it in that they are vibrating and there's a bit, but like not in a way that I could do it with my eyes closed, which I think that would have been cool if they had, a bit more that way. It uses it better than Supercross 4 did, which felt like too much. Like everything was loud and everything was vibrating a lot. This, it's a bit more subtle. But
like
no,
like an increasing tension as you kind of get near the sweet spot seems like a natural way to use that, but
totally like that would be really cool. Or if there was any sort of grip feedback which you get on I'm trying to think, I feel like the Elite even you could sort of feel that a little bit with the vibration, but that would be really cool if you could, especially on the DualSense, if you could get like the sweet spot for grip, because that's what's so important in all these racing games. Yeah, and otherwise, I think the one area where it falls short is that I don't think it has any official branding or anything.
That was the ultimate or the inevitable question is like, what's up with Bigfoot? What do they got in there?
You got Gravedigger. Come on.
And I also don't think like I'm early enough that they've just started unlocking new paint jobs and new types of trucks and stuff. But they don't seem that wacky. Like I don't think you can go that crazy with it. I saw one truck that kind of looked like a toaster, and that was kind of cool. But I haven't seen like a lot of super out there trucks, which I would hope they would lean into that a bit more. Maybe they do once I'm in the pro stuff, because I'm still in the amateur leagues. But I think if you're a big monster truck fan, this is probably one you've considered. It doesn't necessarily grab the PS5 hardware in any sort of crazy way, but it's definitely more enjoyable. I will keep playing this after having taken a look at it.
I do have a list of trucks here that are in the game, and I'm looking them up, and it doesn't seem like any of them are actually real trucks. These seem like that perhaps they are custom made for the game, but the names are pretty good, and in some cases,
I'm more excited to hear some fake monster truck names than real ones. To be honest,
here we go. I've got 13 of them here on this site here. I don't know if that's every truck in the game though, but here we go. Devil's Luck.
Oh yeah, that was
Sergeant Chaos.
Okay, all right.
Rocket Queen.
What?
Storm Rider.
Rocket Queen? Really?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Hyper Force. Lawbreaker. Deadly Toaster.
No.
Party Animal.
No. Nope.
Hell Pizza. Valhalla Warrior.
Like that one, I
Buzzy.
believe. Hell Pizza?
Hell Pizza. That's Buzzy with 2 Z's and 2 Y's. I don't know. Rebel Hunter. And Fear on Wheels. Hell Pizza.
I believe half of those.
What was the toaster one again?
Half of those.
Deadly Toaster.
Oh,
No.
man.
The Deadly Toaster is good. It looks like a toaster. It's got bread sticking out the top of it, like 2 pieces of bread.
No, it does not. You guys are being funny.
That's weird.
No,
I dressed
I'm not
up one
seeing.
year as a.
I'm not
pizza
seeing
guy
any Hell
from
Pizza real truck. There's no. I don't see any real truck named Hell Pizza. So I'm not going to buy this game. Is what I'm saying.
It's not that flavor. I think I know the flavor of monster truck game you're looking for, and it ain't that. It's like this is more in the Drew Scanlon monster truck game of his dreams.
I'm looking for like something that's like, hey man, THQ kind of made this game, even though they haven't existed in years. Somehow some THQ ghosts came down and accidentally made a monster truck game.
Are monster trucks coming back? Or
yes, after. Go ahead.
I haven't played that because there's that Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 that came out maybe in January or this. I haven't played that, but I think that came out relatively recently too. I think the reason why I didn't play it is because it's only native PS4, and I was just like, I'm not spending $50 on a PS4 game anymore.
Oh, I was going to ask.
It's on PC as well.
This game is a native
Switch.
This game is a
looking at
native
it, yeah.
PS5 game. Like I feel like I have to ask that these days now.
Yeah, it is.
Is it
It
actually
came out
the
on all
PS5
the
game?
other stuff. Yeah, it is. It has to go on
Okay.
that hard drive. Yeah,
and
it was
Monster
available
Monster Jam is THQ.
Oh, it is.
It is the THQ Nordic.
Wow.
Oh.
They still use that brand somewhere
And
on
it suits
some
them.
stuff. So,
But I don't think there's a PS5 version, right? Not. I mean, at
No,
this
it
stage,
doesn't
I
look
don't
like
even know
it.
why I'm making a distinction. Probably these games don't exactly harness the power, but it's just hard to, justify the cost. Sometimes you're like, got this console for a reason. Give me some extra
Yeah.
pixels, please.
Yeah.
but I bet that Steel Titans 2 has real trucks in it. That's my guess because it's
Give me a week.
Monster Jam.
Need to keep this monster train
Yeah.
going.
Please.
Yes, indeed. Danny, it sounds like you dabbled with some of those Bethesda games that got upgraded on the Xbox.
Yeah,
Anything to say there other than hey, they're smoother?
Yeah, it just briefly. It similar to a couple of weeks back when I was talking about how Control was a game that I just kind of bounced off on the previous gen because it just was too framey and not enough for me. I think if you were somebody who bounced off, I mean, Fallout 4 had problems on consoles for sure with frame rate. And
Yes.
76 did too. Yeah, both of them run a lot better. The one thing I will say is that, especially in the case of Fallout 4, those games look better on PC. So the frame rate has been upped and they run solid 60 and it's way smoother. It's like night and day smoother. But still, if you were to play them on a relatively contemporary PC, both would look better, especially 76, because 76 has a lot of like light effects and stuff that didn't make it onto the console version.
Sure.
So yeah, that's kind of just it. They
Yeah,
definitely run better.
I almost bought the Game of the Year edition of Fallout 4 was like $15 a couple months ago, and I almost bought a copy just cause, and I didn't. And then this update came out, and now I wish I had. Like I feel like I should have played through all of Fallout 4, and I feel like every single time I say that, the universal response is nah. Like
It's
you're
weird.
good.
People are,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it just feels like this whole, like I played 10, 12 hours of it or something, but like just something feels wrong that I didn't play through the most recent Fallout game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think 4 was very much either you were on the first person shooter style of thing they were doing on Fallout 3. Fallout 3 kind of tried to be a bit more RPG, and then like Vegas is way more RPG, and then Fallout 4 is like very much not. It's more of an action game. The one thing I will mention about the FPS stuff though is you need to turn it on. There's actually like a Xbox level option on the game. It's not in the game menu. It's you have to like go to manage game, and in the same place it has, I think, like enable HDR. There is a button that is off by default. Yeah, that says enable whatever it's called, FPS boost. Is it? Yeah,
I thought that.
Yeah,
I thought that stuff was supposed to be on by default, not off by default.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Both games for me were off by default.
No,
So I don't know
that's
why.
not how
Yeah.
that should work. Dang it.
It was weird. Which in a way it was cool because I got to do a litmus test, because both games I started thinking, assuming it was on, and then being like, I don't know if this is much better.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was
That's why they did
way
it that
better.
way, so you can dig into it and be like, "Oh, this is great! I love this. You guys are wizards."
Huh. That's a very strange way to handle that. Let's see what else is going on. Alex and I have been playing a little bit of It Takes Two, which we can't talk about due to embargo yet. The new Joseph Fares game,
When's it
Hazelight.
out?
End of the week, Friday. We will be doing video with that very shortly. Can't talk about it.
Does
just
it
yet.
Does it play the song? Do they have the song in the game?
I cannot comment on the contents of the video game It Takes Two. I'm
What
sorry.
about the song with Will Smith?
I have nothing for you.
That's just the two of
Can't-
us. That's a different game.
Yes, the game just the two of us does not in fact contain the song just the two of us. I can tell you that.
You can tell us that much. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, we will be doing probably a live quick look of that in the near future. I also played a bunch of Doom Eternal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I played a bunch of Doom Eternal.
Yeah, you
we streamed the
Crosshair
beginning
stuff
of
seemed like a good change.
yeah, we streamed the beginning of the Ancient Gods Part 1 last week, which I had been saving for a stream. We finally got around to doing it, and I said this on the stream, like I don't want to call my own review methodology into question, but I think I would have liked that game a whole lot better if I played through it on the PC. Like I reviewed that game on the PS4 last year, and just it was too much for a controller, I think. And
Mhm.
I had way more fun with that game on that stream playing it on PC, to the point that I went back and played a bunch of the base game.
Nice.
And yeah, like, so we did that stream the last day before Ancient Gods Part 2 came out, and yes, they put out that DLC and a patch that, like, it sped up the weapon wheel, it did a number of UI things, but yeah, one of those things is they put a new crosshair in that's just straight up got icons around it for all your cooldowns.
Oh,
Yeah.
Huh.
That seems like a
Because-
smart change.
Because I was having that exact problem on that stream. I mean, that DLC is hard as shit. Has anybody played it here? Like, Danny, you are into that game.
I went to boot it up a couple of days ago and realized how hard it was and was like, no, okay, Brad can take this one.
It's a lot, man. I played it on Ultraviolence because that's what I played the base game on, even though everybody was like, yeah, maybe play the DLC like one notch lower than you played the original, which, yeah, it's not bad advice, but like,
Is it
was
integrated
totally the-
into the base game? Like, is
No,
it
it's
like, hey, you
completely
go
separate.
left, or is okay? So it's like you launch
like,
into a separate
literally
campaign.
a separate, even both episodes are even separate menu options at the main menu. Like,
Okay.
I don't know that progress even carries over from episode 1 into episode 2. I mean, you start with literally everything, like every weapon, every rune, every
Oh.
perk, like every single thing you can have in that game is unlocked by default. So it's just like, hey, we're going to throw the kitchen sink at you here. That was exactly the experience I was having playing that thing. Is like, I did not have time to like literally avert my eyes to the edges of the screen because there was so much shit going on. So like, you know, here's your chainsaw icon, here's your flamethrower icon. Like, it's just kind of like grouped around the crosshair. It's like kind of a nice little change.
I think that was one of my major problems. So I did play Eternal on the PC, and I think that ended up being one of my issues with it is just straight up tracking your cooldowns and making sure that you've got, because that game, obviously, it's all about flow. It's all about like using the stuff as you get it to kind of kill your way into more resources from thing to thing to thing. And I've said it before, when you drop out of that flow and have to like get it back up again, that's where that game becomes like more frustrating than fun. And you're just like,
It's very jarring. Totally.
Yeah. And now it's like, okay, I got to stop, look at what I got, regain my bearings, and move forward. And sometimes that game doesn't give you the opportunity to stop. And I've larger other problems with it than that, but like that was a major one. So like just straight up making that stuff more visible as you're aiming and shooting, like that's just a really smart, like that makes me want to go back and replay it also, just to kind of see if that happens a little less often, because I think with that out of the way, I think the other stuff is a lot easier to kind of deal with and maybe not as big of a deal. It was just like all of that layered on of just like, oh, you get caught on the geometry here because you get backed into a corner by this guy, and that sort of sucks. But you know, really, if you're eliminating that one thing of like, what am I using next? I think it gives you a little bit more time to focus on your mobility and focus on all the other stuff.
It helps. Like, I still had to train myself to actually be conscious of them.
Yes.
But once I sort of got into that rhythm, it was very helpful. You can't add the grenade cooldown to that configuration, which is strange to me because it cools down just like everything else. It's just what is it? It's blood punch, chainsaw, and flamethrower, I think, are the only three. There's even like space for a grenade icon. So unless I was missing something, that seems like a weird omission, but it's helpful. It doesn't completely fix the game. Like,
yeah, of course.
On paper, that design is like literally rock paper scissors, right? It's like literally, if this is happening, use this. If that's happening, use this other thing. If you need armor, use the flamethrower. If you need health, do a glory kill, like that whole thing. But like, you're totally right. Like it's like one too many things to manage, to the point that when that breaks down, it just feels like you're slamming face first into a wall at 90 miles an hour.
It's like that Sonic the Hedgehog thing of like, I was running fast and this was a really good time. Oh shit, I didn't jump here, and now this game sucks because now I'm moving Sonic at a slow speed, and why am I even playing this?
Yes, it is kind of, yes, it's pretty similar to that. But
do they put any of the armor? I mean, is it just those 3 cooldowns? They don't put like your armor number or anything like that there?
No,
to do that, because
you
I
still
feel like
have
that's
to.
the other part of it, of like, you need to know when you need it. Like, when do you need
Sure.
armor to do the thing, to kill it, or should I go for ammo first, or should I go for, like, that's
my experience in that DLC was that I always needed ammo. I always needed armor. Yeah. I always needed like, I should just be getting everything constantly because I was always on the brink. But I had more fun with it last week than I had playing through the entire game last year. So like, that's something, I guess. Like,
that's cool.
Kind of a backhanded compliment, but like, if I wasn't saving the rest of that DLC for a stream, I would have played through the rest of it on my own time. Like, I really came out of it going like, all right, there's kind of a combat puzzle here that I am into now.
Yeah, I think that was my problem with the base game. Is it is very much that combat puzzle, and I just, like I said, every time you get snapped out of it, I was like, this isn't like the flow is gone, and that's not much fun. And all that platforming, I thought was kind of whatever.
Yes, there is definitely some platforming, some timed platforming challenges, like in the first 20 minutes of this DLC. So they have not gotten away from that.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, you tell me. But yeah, that thing seems pretty good. I've heard the last boss of that thing is absolutely terrible. So
is it John Romero's head?
It should be. It should be. Well, I mean, they make you fight the Icon of Sin at the end of the base game, and his head is not contained in that, as far as I know. Although, maybe you could clip in there and find him. I don't know.
I'm gonna mod that in.
Yes. Okay. I think that's it for games. Unless anybody's got anything else.
I've been playing a little bit of Tony Hawk, but it's that's the updated version's out Friday, so I'm just kind of like, I loaded that back up because the patch dropped and kind of getting back into that. I'm looking forward to playing way more of that because since I finished it, they patched in the ability to
respect.
they made it a lot easier to play that game multiple times, basically. Like the stats and stuff, or the goals used to only be a game-wide progression, and now they've added a separate thing that's like solo tour, so you can be like, I'm gonna play through with Jeff Raleigh now and get everything, and it's not just jump in and get the stat points and jump out. Now you can just do all the goals again and stuff like that, which is like what I want to do. There's something bittersweet about that game. And for people, you have to manually upload your fucking save like every other PlayStation 5 or PS4 to PS5 game. So that patches out, so you can do that now if you want to just do that now. That's a shitty solution, but I guess it's better than the one that people who bought the physical Xbox One version of the game did, because there's no upgrade path for them. You bought it digitally, I think.
Wait,
what? If you bought a physical Tony Hawk disc for Xbox physical One,
only, right? Yes,
you are just straight up assed out. There's no path. Like for digital, I don't understand. I have no idea why that's the case or what the hell happened there. That seems like something they could do, but I don't know.
I fear we are maybe kind of exiting the honeymoon period on free upgrades for next gen. Like I somehow I missed the news that Judgment, from the Yakuza team, is coming to PS5 and Xbox, but there is no upgrade path at all from if you own the previous version. You just straight up have to buy it outright again to get the upgraded graphics and all that stuff. So like,
I think that'll depend on when the original game came out. I feel like Judgment is old enough that they're probably looking at it and like,
sure. Yeah, because I think Yakuza 7 did, in fact, get a free upgrade, right?
Yeah, it did.
So,
yes, yeah.
I have a question about the Tony Hawk stuff, because I was actually planning to not upload my save because the end of game progression was such like a cul-de-sac. Like I was kind of just sick of doing all of that stuff. So would you suggest now with the patch that it actually would be more fun do you think, to sort of do the New Game Plus almost on it, or...
Yeah, I mean, they've made it. They've given you a reason, or they've made it possible for you to do the goals again, basically, which is the thing that the game didn't have before. They patched that in a while ago, and I think even then there's a button in there that just says clear progress. So I think you can keep your level and all your unlocked stuff and maybe stats. I'm not sure, but there is just a button you can use to wipe poor progress and do the goals again. So I don't think you don't need to start over from scratch, I guess is the point. You absolutely could. I mean, it's not like it's a long game. I think when that game first came out, I played through all of that in like a day, less than a day. But yeah, they give you opportunities to do it with every single skater now, so you've got that.
Cool. All right.
Okay. That's it for games. Why don't we take a quick break?
For games.
That's it.
That's a wrap on games.
I mean, it's the end of fiscal, like I said. We're done. Wrap it up till next year. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then come back. We've got a lot of news to talk about this week, so let's. I don't know. What is your pre-news prep? What do you got? You got to get up and stretch. Do some jaw exercises.
Always
stretch my neck. Get ready to talk.
Protect your
core videos.
That's right.
Amiibo.
Credit cards. You're not on top of them, they can get on top of you. You know you got one of those credit cards that might be getting a little bit on top of you, right? Well, there's hope for you yet, because there's Upstart, the fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt, all online. It's not just for credit cards. If you've got some high interest debt you're looking to consolidate, you want to fund some personal expenses, hey, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple fixed monthly payment. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. It takes 5 minutes. There's an online rate check you can use to see your rate upfront for loans from $1,000 to $50,000, and you can get approved the same day. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/bombcast. That's upstart.com/bombcast. Don't forget to use that URL. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/bombcast. There are a zillion vitamins out there, but you deserve to know what you're putting in your body and why, especially when it comes to something you're taking every day. That's why there's Ritual. They've got clean, vegan-friendly multivitamins that have been formulated with high-quality nutrients in bioavailable forms your body can actually use. That means no sugars, no GMOs, no major allergens, synthetic filters, no artificial colorants, and plus, the fresh taste and delayed-release capsule design makes taking your vitamins easy. Because a multivitamin should contain key nutrients, right? And forms your body can actually use to help fill gaps in your diet. No weird extras. Ritual's got delayed release capsules that deliver these high quality nutrients, including vitamin D3, in just 2 daily pills. And Ritual's made traceable. You'll always know what nutrients you're taking and where they come from thanks to Ritual's one-of-a-kind visible supply chain. They're available now for women, men, and teens. Ritual vitamins are scientifically developed to help support different life stages. Get key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/bomb to start your ritual today.
We've got a grip of news this week, specifically a grip of Sony news to start with. Feels like everybody's moving and shaking this week.
I'm gripping the news. I'm squeezing the facts out of it and leaving behind only the truth.
Nothing but white knuckle news over here. Very serious about this.
That's right.
Very serious.
Not effing around.
Yes. Here's a piece of news you can take at face value because it came straight from the horse's mouth.
That's what they want you to think.
Yes, a horse named PlayStation.
They would.
Oh. Horse named PlayStation ran a blog headline last week entitled "Next Gen VR on PS5: the new controller." And they straight up put out pictures of the controller for the next PlayStation VR, which I continue to be baffled every time they put out more news about PlayStation VR in the wake of those Jim Ryan comments from like 6 months ago.
Well, it's like they had those comments, and then the comments after it, they were like, "Yeah, no, yeah, we're gonna, yes." Like it was like a little more firm. Like they've been so like it was creebling their way into this.
Like it was so like those comments were so mealy mouthed about like, we believe in VR. Like maybe not this year or next year or the year after, but eventually we'll get back there. And then like 6 months later, here they are literally showing product shots of the new controller for the new PlayStation VR.
Yeah,
it's all very strange.
And then the tidbit of information in there is that like they're sending them out to developers, like, you know, as part of a dev kit, which I assume is why they posted these publicly, because as soon as they send them out to devs, they're going to leak.
Yeah, they sure learned their lesson on that front for sure. I mean, yeah, they flat out say in the article like these will be going out to developers soon. Which like
it's almost like Jim Ryan might not be great at his job. I mean, no, I don't work with him day to day, but it's almost like maybe he's not good at this whole spokesperson thing.
No, I won't make any broad assumptions, but you know, there does seem to be some mixed messaging there.
It seems like especially strange when you see these. You're like, they're like going deeper on VR this time than they did the first time.
Yeah, like yes, like last time they bolted the VR onto their like 8-year-old motion controllers and the like existing camera, right? Like they were just sort of slapping it together with like the parts they had lying around, and this is like serious. This looks like a proper ass I guess it's probably comparable to the Oculus Touch controllers, right? Because it's got
totally. It's
finger,
very similar layout wise.
The finger tracking, it looks like I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of a loop around your hands, which I think is what they do to track your fingers.
I think for the inside out tracking, I think they'll kind of use that for just overall tracking as well. I'm not positive,
like they don't. So yeah, you can kind of read between the lines on some of this stuff. Like they don't come out and say the headset will have inside out tracking, but they do say this controller is tracked by the headset, which I feel like is tantamount to the same thing almost.
Yes. Yeah.
But other than the finger tracking, it's like kind of what you'd expect out of a PlayStation 5 VR controller. I mean, it's got the triggers and the haptics and all the good stuff about the DualSense. Sounds like it's also made its way in here.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like what I think you would want out of a modern next generation PlayStation VR controller, right?
I guess so. I just the Oculus style controller is really good for a lot of types of VR, but I think when you get into the Vive or just like the kind of modern Valve Index style of control, like I think that is better for room scale immersion and like all that sort of stuff. I think those controllers are just like a little more capable and interesting, whereas these are like we found a way to translate game pads into a VR space in a way that gives you grip controller, like grip triggers and stuff like that. Like these are totally fine, but I guess like that's appropriate for like a console VR solution also, right? Like this and the Oculus Quest, that kind of, hey, this isn't necessarily like high end VR for crazy people. This is like the attainable VR for real people today. So I guess this is probably perfect for that. And I bet devs probably love that these look a lot like the Oculus controllers because they're like, well, whatever, we already port to Oculus, so or we already support Oculus Touch controllers, so as a result, this looks like that. So I'm guessing that's a good thing for them.
I mean, the Index controllers are pretty similar in capability, right? As far as finger stuff.
Pretty
similar.
They don't do the finger stuff though, right?
They don't.
It doesn't have tracking, but it has more buttons on it, I guess. But it doesn't do the. Does it do the? I forget. I own one. Does it? Oh, it does. It actually does, isn't it? Yeah, because I remember doing all that stuff. What that does, which I don't think the Oculus stuff has any of the haptics, does it?
No, it has like basic haptics. I think is what like they will shake, but it's not some amazing thing. I think they shake. God, I have that, and I don't even know.
Yeah, they must do that stuff. It's been so long. It's been Half-Life Alyx playthrough number 2 since I did it. But I think between the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, this kind of ticks all the boxes for how Alex played as well. So I wonder, will there be a console version of that?
Yeah, that's my perennial question. I may have actually asked that on this podcast before, but like, does Half-Life Alyx get a PlayStation 5 VR port? It probably does.
Does Sony open the wallet to? Right. Or yes, does someone else do the work? Does Sony make that happen? Like that's Sony's job to do, is to go pay someone to, and they've done this in the past when they wanted other games. They have definitely paid for ports and all that sort of stuff. But if they open the wallet to get it, that seems like something they absolutely could get out of Valve. Unless they really want to hold it and say no, we want people to buy an Index, we want people to use VR on Steam. We don't want them to, I could see Valve being in that position also, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they need the revenue from a PlayStation 5 port or something.
Exactly, yeah.
It does kind of sort of hold a candle to that. They've always been on these sort of like all chips rise together, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
mentality over there.
Yes, they definitely have that kind of democratized, like what's good for VR is good for us kind of mentality. You're right about that for sure.
Yeah.
This thing seems pretty straightforward. Other than the finger. Let's see, it's thumb, index, and middle finger that it'll track per controller. It's got the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback, tracking from the headset. It is one analog stick per controller, only 2 face buttons, a triangle and square button. So
no, it's the other on the other side.
Oh, you're right. Is that actually did put them on? Yes, but it's only 2 face buttons per controller.
Yeah, controller.
A grip button, a trigger, and then like an options kind of create button per controller. So that's a hell of a lot better than the PlayStation Move. I can say that pretty confidently.
Wouldn't take much.
Is the spherical design for like hand protection, or is it like?
No, I think that's how they enable the finger tracking. Is my guess. That's certainly what that looks like. Cool to see that stuff out there. I mean, if it's not out in developers' hands yet, what does that put to launch at like a holiday 2022 at the absolute earliest? Probably.
I mean, when are people going to?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there are probably chips in those things that are impossible to get right now on some level, right? There's got to be some, it was like reading the article yesterday about how like Ford is building trucks and they're just like, we don't have enough chips to finish these trucks. So we're just going to set them over here until we get them.
Multiple car manufacturers have mothballed factories over this chip shortage.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that there's probably at least one chip in the PlayStation VR design that they will not be able to build in quantity.
Yeah,
anytime soon.
There's at least one chip in the PlayStation 5 that's true of. So yes,
yeah, right, exactly. So
an ongoing thing. But I mean, even all other things being equal, like just time to make games for that thing is like minimum like a year and a half from now, right?
Yeah, like next holiday.
Maybe Jim Ryan was right. It actually will be like 3 years.
Right. Maybe he was just looking at how many chips were coming in and go like, yeah, we'll get back to it one of these days.
Yeah.
Who
Anyway,
would want to play Gran Turismo 1? Suddenly it's like, actually, we could manufacture PS1s. Maybe we should get back into that stuff.
it's kind of nice to see them face reality and realize they can't be as secretive as they have in the past because the world doesn't work that way anymore. And they just have to get out there and say the thing they're doing because somebody else is going to say it first if they don't.
Yeah, it's a big. I think it's an interesting contrast compared to Nintendo with some of their stuff around this Switch talk and all that stuff.
Yeah, once we get past the Sony block, we'll get into this week's Switch OLED update.
Yeah.
But a bunch of other stuff going on with Sony. Speaking of things that Sony said themselves on a different blog, on the SIE blog.
Oh boy.
Another headline, welcoming Evo into the PlayStation family.
Weird.
Sony bought Evo. Sony and a venture called RTS.
Yep, real-time strategy games are coming to Evo. They're getting rid of all these stupid fighting games. And
I'll watch
Total Annihilation
RTS.
only, baby.
I'll watch competitive RTS any day. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's a new esports venture named RTS, and Sony have jointly acquired the Evolution Championship Series, more commonly known as EVO, which elicited an immediate "what the fuck" from me, because what the fuck?
It's like the same week that Blizzard shut their whole esports thing.
Yes, coming like literally like hours after Blizzard laid a bunch of people off, or Activision Blizzard, I should say.
Activision, right? Yeah,
Right.
Like practically dissolved their esports operation. Here is Sony getting in.
That was the only jaw-dropping thing I think for me was Sony in particular doing it. But from Evo's perspective, man, they had to. They had received such bad press from the sexual allegations of Mr. Wizard or
Right.
I don't even think that they're allegations. I think it's straight up that dude was bad.
And I wonder if the pandemic
to
also
kind of rebrand and reimage and how do you do that? Unless you have some sort of swapping of hands, I guess. So Sony coming in, a big boy like that, is going to help improve their image, I think. So to hopefully dissuade some of the bad shit that happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Mr. Wizard would have been out by this point, but this is so. Are the canons kind of sticking around as like advisors, or is that like
I don't know. They kind of signed off, at the end of that blog, and I was still kind of left unclear as to what their roles were still going to be.
They're at Riot now, right? I mean, they got bought by Riot, and they're all there for a while. So maybe this is a case of like, hey, we don't have time to like unfuck this brand image after everything that happened, plus the pandemic.
Seriously.
Maybe it's time to just get out of this.
Yeah.
And also right. At some point, you just gotta like wash your hands of it and move on. But like, I guess Evo, when it was a physical event and even I guess as a digital one, I'm guessing like a lot of those games were PS4 games, right? That was primarily like almost all of the games at Evo, at least the main games were running off of PS4. That kind of became the de facto fighting game standard platform. except for in cases
They had
where
to-
a game was not available on that platform. But
They had to consolidate, yeah.
yeah,
There's some language in there where they mentioned that they're not going to be sticking to one particular platform. So I don't think it's just going to be Sony, PlayStations everywhere. If there's a game like Killer Instinct or something like that, that's
Right.
if they're going to bring that back. But they would certainly they're open to having other platforms.
Smash,
so because
presumably.
Smash, exactly, yeah. Yeah, we're still up in the air as to whether that's going to be back or not, but
I mean, that's
I
Nintendo's
said,
call at that point, though, because they, obviously Evo is going to be like, yes, we want Smash. It's the most popular
Right.
game running right now, but Nintendo has to be on the other end going like, do we want to be
the
affiliated
thing.
with this kind of like filthy like community? Like, have they cleaned it up enough? Or is it worth putting our brand next to this super damn like?
oh boy,
Mandatory showers. Sony's going to institute change.
This is their
that's
their
not the
out,
filth I meant, but
maybe.
yes, that too. Sure, yes, this is a good out for Nintendo to be like, all right, cool, we're gonna run our own events, or just not,
won't.
and
Yeah,
not
like
and not let you run our game next to all this other stuff. Like,
Nintendo's not going to spin up an esports organization, right? They're just going to.
Well,
let's hope not.
I mean, with the Pokemon Company, they do have like Pokemon Worlds every year, and weren't they doing a Splatoon tournament for a while?
Not.
There was a
I think that was just like
little
a
bit of
promotional
coverage
thing
there.
at like E3 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if there
yeah.
was like much of a league or anything.
yeah, they weren't like running regionals or anything like
Right.
that. But yeah, I think it's open for Nintendo to kind of find a different path if they want to do Smash esports. But I mean, Nintendo really doesn't seem like they're actually that interested in that stuff. And I think the reputation of, I mean, this stuff that happened around Evo, like all of that stuff is a big part of why, I'm sure, like, why would you want to bring your game into that scene? That even without those allegations, not allegations, but even without that situation, it's not a family friend. It's not on brand for Nintendo to be a part of something like Evo.
No, which is a shame because like they've shown themselves to be capable in like a one-off capacity of doing that stuff. Like they did that Mario Maker 2 kind of weird little esports thing at E3 year before last. I don't know if anybody saw that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they've
like,
done
literally
like
It was like an
they've
hour
done
long.
things
It was
here and
like
there.
one,
Yeah.
but like they had like good shot casting for it. It was like exciting to watch people compete in Mario Maker of all things. Like they can pull that stuff off if they try, but there just seems like the will is not really there.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they've taken steps, like we said with Splatoon and some of this other stuff. Like they've definitely tried here and there, but it almost had the feel of like it's a mall tour or something, as opposed to like this is an ingrained multi-year esports org.
Watching that Mario Maker esports thing they did was almost like watching The Wizard again for the first time.
Exactly.
Some weird way. It's like the curtain came up and there was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, obviously, like, Evo is out there saying all platforms are welcome, but that doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means, because
That the other platform is going to be.
Yeah, I think the other platform has to like think about it and go like, this is a great time for us to really get away from this thing, which I bet they would. I bet they would at least be considering. So it's up to Microsoft to bring Killer Instinct back. That's the thing.
Right.
You gotta make that happen.
I fired that up a little bit to like a month or two ago, and
The game's still good.
I'm sure it plays just fine. I'm going to say visually it has not perhaps aged splendidly for the last.
There's some particle effects that fly off everything, though. That's still
like
maybe
enhanced for the new Xbox.
Sure. I know Iron Galaxy did a bunch of work on like kind of souping up the technical end of it, but maybe I screwed up by doing like Jago versus Orchid, which were both launch characters from the Xbox One launch, but like it does not look like a modern fighting game in spots so much these days.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's fine.
I don't know. I'm not going to die on the Killer Instinct hill, but that game has got some
mechanics. It's got to work.
Chops, man.
That's fine. Last leg of the kind of the Sony triad here.
Hang on a sec. How much do you think that they had to pay a lot to get Evo? That seems like something that'd be like, they show up with $5,000 and we'll take this off your hands for you.
Probably more than that, but like I do wonder if there was any element of just straight up survival for Evo in this, because they didn't have an event last year, and like I don't know. I don't know how much the on location events drove revenue for them and what their kind of needs are to keep that thing sustainable. But like, a lot of people are having a hard time weathering this pandemic from a business standpoint, right? So like, I wonder if this was like, we need to find a sponsor or we can't keep this thing going. I don't know.
I don't know. The cannons are pretty well off from what I hear, so I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to self-fund it forever.
True.
But if they could self-fund it through the pandemic and come out the other end and put on events and get all the money themselves, that maybe that would be the thing. But again, if they're at Riot doing other stuff, then maybe they're just not interested the same way they used to.
If I know anything about event organizers, it's that usually that money ends up in the pockets of the people who run the events. And there's not usually much of a war chest. I don't know anything about how Evo works, but there's a reason why a lot of these things don't last very long when suddenly people stop coming. So who knows? Name recognition is worth a lot though. So
yep. That's for sure.
It certainly has that.
And that's the biggest one of them.
Yeah, Evo is the name in this category, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The third and final Sony story that I guess we will say up front is unconfirmed. This came out of The Gamer.
Gamer.
TheGamer.com. Which
one?
I'm not familiar with.
She speaks.
The one. The Gamer. The Gamer.
Oh, that one.
Not just any gamer. TheGamer.com reporting, and like everybody ran with this yesterday, so like it has an air of legitimacy, and certainly is not hard to believe that Sony will be shutting down the digital stores for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, also known as the PSP, and the PlayStation Vita this summer.
My Vita games.
So that would mean no new purchases on those platforms after those stores go down. You presumably will be able to download your purchases in perpetuity. Although Sony has
still, I don't trust them. I'm gonna download them all.
I certainly would not blame you. Like, you should definitely do that.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Replace your Vita's battery while you're at it.
Yeah.
Please. That's about to explode in there. Somebody's sure is about to have a bad day.
That started going around in kind of the modding community in the wake of this news.
Still got this old iPhone ready to burst.
People,
wow, look at that.
Goodness.
Maybe put that in the garage.
Rough.
Yeah, apparently it is the case on the PS3, the PS4. I don't know about the handhelds as well. That's, if I understood correctly, once the CMOS battery dies in those things, you have to reconnect to a server to re-authenticate and actually play all your games again. And if those servers are no longer available, then at some point, I don't know. That is very speculative. We don't know for sure. One would hope. Sony would have a solution.
Nintendo at some point shut down the Wii store completely. Like, so that's not even a re-download your purchased games.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I feel like there's even precedent there for going whole hog over time.
Yeah.
This sucks. This is fucking bad. This is like, I feel like the PS3 is on the other side of the cutoff line when you think about like, hey, you sold a significant number of digital things on this storefront, and you have an obligation to those customers and I think even partners to just kind of keep that stuff going. But also, I bet no one is actually buying PS3 games digitally nowadays. So if
not on a
maintain
PS3.
Not on a PS3. But if they are able to just maintain your purchases and your authentication and all other stuff and let you keep going at those for, I mean, ideally forever, right? I mean, ideally you should be able to access that stuff in something resembling as much as perpetuity can ever be a thing. But yeah, this sucks, and I'm sure that there are already crews of people. I mean, there have been for some time, but this probably shifts it into high gear. Even this speculative story that claims the announcement will be scheduled for the end of this month. We're just about there. That they have to find as much content as possible and grab it all in case it disappears off of Sony's CDN. But I want to say that PS4 digital games are kept on the same CDN as PS3 games. So maybe that stuff will just live there forever and will be, quote unquote, accessible to people that want to, quote unquote, get at it.
Yeah, somebody will archive that stuff. It's just a shame it's not the rights holder doing right by the people who paid for it. Like, there probably will be ways to get that stuff. It just may not be legitimate. But
Yeah, I mean those ways
else?
already exist for all three of those platforms. I mean they have for a while, but sucks.
I certainly started developing a newfound respect yesterday for the people who insist on buying physical media for everything. But I mean, we've talked about it before. Once they're at the point, which we are already at, where they're shipping like mostly finished games that require like a 20 gig download on day one to become fully functional, like what good is physical media either, right?
And on top of that, that game connects to a server the first minute after you push X. Like, that's just where games are now. Like cataloging and archiving that stuff in perpetuity is not going to be possible unless you start getting all the way down the dark rabbit hole of like, all right, now we got to make a private Outriders server because it's 2041 and someone wants to try to play Outriders now. That's just gonna be a factor, like I've got a Destiny 1 disc for PS4 around here, and it's like that still works, but like someday it won't. And what good will that disc be? What good's a physical copy of fucking Destiny? Like none.
It's got all that
Zero.
Peter Dinklage on it.
Ugh,
That's right.
gross. Get it
That's
off.
right. Those files are still in there.
Yuck. God.
Yeah,
So-
this is a bummer. This is a real bummer, especially for PSP Go owners who have no other way to play games
no.
than that store.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
Well, I don't feel so bad. I mean, if existing owners can continue to download their stuff, then hey, whatever. But anyone who like finds a PSP Go at a thrift store or swap meet or something 5 years from now, they're like, look at this thing, it's awesome, it's the best PSP, and then they get it home and they're like, I can't do shit with this. Wait, there's something I can like that's
There's something.
yeah, there's something you can do with a PSP Go. It's very useful, but it's a shame that it would have to come to that.
Yes,
But it was always going to come to that. I guess.
probably. Yeah. Yep. Life will find a way, as always. Okay. Yeah, like I said, here we go. In this week's Bloomberg leak and report on the new Switch, because they've been stacking up lately. The headline this week: Nintendo to use new NVIDIA graphics chip in 2021 Switch upgrade. The salient points in this story are they are saying it will in fact support DLSS, which seemed like it was not a foregone conclusion until this story. I still think it seems a little insane. It's just not something Nintendo would do, because that's going to require some pretty advanced hardware that is not like widespread on the market right now, which is just like the least Nintendo-like thing to do, to incorporate something like that. But I guess it's kind of a new era at Nintendo. That says, or that, that necessitates a better CPU, more memory, better GPU, of course, and the other big data point here is more expensive. They don't have...
It's analysts saying they think it will be more expensive.
Yes, analysts
based
expect
on
the
a
new
report,
Switch.
based on off-the-record discussions, or rather anonymous source discussions.
Yeah, it's a supply chain analysis. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into this. They are predicting as much as $100 more expensive than the current model.
Oh, wow.
So take that as you will.
Do you think the way that the aftermarket around new consoles and graphics cards have exploded is getting anyone to sit down and think, shit, why did we only charge $500 for a PlayStation 5? Like, we could have gone way higher. Look at all the people that are buying them this way at launch. Like, do you think that would, because if you're Nintendo thinking about launching something like this, you got to be like, well, I mean, yeah, we can always lower the price, but
that that
course
creates,
we can get $400 out of people.
Well, yeah, but remember what happened with the Xbox One, right? Like, that creates a negative brand association right off the bat with people that you don't want, because those things stick around, right? Like, you don't live that reputation down.
Sure.
Like, it's
and
one
if you drop
thing.
it
It's
too
one thing
fast,
for
you piss off those early adopters. I guess
Right.
there is a cost.
it's one thing for scalpers and even some retailers to jack up prices, but I feel like the actual console makers doing it, you're kind of playing with fire there, is my feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But
Might have had a negative effect on developers too. Might have made it so they
Right.
were, at least this is out of Sony's hands, the sort of install base. Whereas if they were going into it, planning on squeezing people, maybe developers would have been that little bit less enthused about working on PS5 stuff.
Yes,
Sure.
that's certainly possible. I don't know. This sounds good. Like I said, though, it just sounds very aggressive for Nintendo. Like they really like lowball their tech specs, right? Like chronically, since the Wii, they're always so far behind everybody else. The idea that like there are not handhelds out there with DLSS right now. Like I kind of spent a bunch of time looking at Tegra parts this morning, and like the Tegra chips that are out there that can support this kind of thing are in use in like self-driving cars and like AI workstations and stuff. Like, actually, I think the Bloomberg story even makes that point. Yes, it's an atypically advanced edition for Nintendo, which has tended to opt for more mature and lower cost technologies than rivals Sony and Microsoft. So
do you think that's just where Nvidia is with, price points and the tech, that just makes sense for Nintendo to do? And I guess, do you feel this lines up with the previous Bloomberg story?
I think so. What was the previous Bloomberg story? I'm like losing track of what they reported when.
OLED screens, right?
OLED screen, yeah, right.
Like 720p OLED, like, it like sounded a little understated in that story. Do you think okay. So do you think that this is a bunch of details being conflated by reporters in a way that maybe this is multiple devices? And that maybe they have a high and maybe they have maybe they end up having something that is this DLSS model that is the pricier version, but also behind the scenes they are working on a refresh of the base model Switch that would incorporate this larger OLED screen as well, and not necessarily go all the way.
Yeah, that's possible. Sure.
Like this, all these details just seem weird to me, and yeah, I don't know.
There are Shield TVs out there that do like AI upscaling to 4K that are not DLSS, but it's still a form of AI upscaling, right? And I just assumed that's what would happen. That would trickle down to the Switch. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on over there. Pandemics and chip shortages and all this stuff. Like I'm not sure what's driving the decision-making process there.
What do you think the acceptance of Switch Lite has been? Has that, because that passed by me. I was an early adopter on Switch. I can't get a read on whether or not that's something that's still popular.
I think they've been selling all models across the board just fine. I think I don't know what the split is, but I mean, in this day and age when people, especially the year of Animal Crossing and how people were going bananas for that, like it's hard to process what is actual demand for the Switch Lite form factor and what is people saying like, I just got to get some kind of Switch because I need to play this damn game.
Right.
It's hard to tease that out right now.
Looking for some sales figures here. 24.1.
Like a third form factor is already. I guess it's been 4 or 5 years since the original came out, but we're sort of entering DS territory of multiple versions of this thing. Right. Like if they release 2 more. I hear what you're saying though, because like the details don't seem like they match up.
Yeah, there's just and I wonder if, well, I guess they're saying pretty definitively the new Switch iteration will support NVIDIA's deep learning super sampling or DLSS. They're not necessarily saying, hey, it'll support some kind of super sampling thing, which would point to like what you're talking about in the Shield TVs that already do some kind of like lower quality AI upsampling. So
yeah, that
also how many of these chips is NVIDIA going to be able to provide? Yeah, and like the other part of it is like, and that has to be why these details are just so scattered and weird for something that is supposedly shipping this year.
Right. Is like, does this end up just looking like a paper launch in November? Like that it's technically out there and absolutely nobody can buy it. Like even,
or do they speculatively build this thing out and then get to a point where they're like, we actually can't provide enough of these to launch it, and so we're going to push off another year or something like that? Like, are they briefing developers on this in any real way right now? Like they would have to be if this thing is shipping this year. If they were shipping this year, like dev kits would have like yeah, I don't know. The timeline on all this stuff seems super messed up.
Yeah, it's confusing. for sure.
Maybe it is. Maybe the plan was this, we're sort of entering that shock phase, right? That sort of second shockwave of everything slowing down.
Yeah, it seems that way for sure. I found some sales numbers here. Looks like in the most recent 9-month period of Switch sales that have been reported, they sold 16.7 million standard Switch models and 7.3 million Switch Lites. So that's a pretty healthy share for the Switch Lite, for sure.
And I wonder how many do you think they made and sold into the? Is that sell in or sell through?
I think sell through.
Okay.
And how close are those numbers?
I would guess close to 1-to-1, right? Like those things pretty much go as fast as people can, or as fast as they can get them out there, right? Also, the Switch Lite has sold more than the Wii U. The Switch Lite alone has now sold more than the Wii U. So, yeah,
whatever, man. That's all I'll ever need. It's right here, just in case.
Wow, look at that!
Ready to go. Mario,
everything within reach there.
Mine's broken.
Gotta not move. You gotta just have everything right here. Saturn is about
Saturn's down there.
Another 10 feet away, back this way. It's under that TV back there. But
plugged in.
It just roll over to it at any point.
It is plugged in, but the TV is not plugged in. I moved it recently.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, if they had software launch timing that they were trying to plan around this thing, like, what does that mean for those games? Like, if they're holding big stuff back, like,
would explain why they didn't show Breath of the Wild 2 at that last thing.
Yeah, like that, or a Bayonetta, or what else is floating around?
Metroid.
Yeah, like how does the potential soft launch of this thing affect game release dates? Like, it's messy. Seems like a lot of stuff is messy this year.
Give me Mario Golf.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
That's something you can depend on,
off, right? Yeah.
Golf. Yeah, June, I think.
Like June?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Golf is eternal. Mario Golf Eternal. Golf. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, play with a mouse and keyboard.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Let's see. Microsoft put out a statement yesterday in the wake of people noticing some rebranding going on inside the Xbox interface, that the Xbox Live name seems to be largely being deprecated, although maybe not entirely. But all over the place in the Xbox UI, on Major Nelson's bio on social media, people were noticing the phrase Xbox Live being converted to the Xbox Network.
Yeah.
So
lowercase n, not necessarily Xbox
it's not
Network
even,
as a brand.
Oh. Yes, like Tom Warren at The Verge posted a screenshot from the console yesterday that, like, when you were trying to upload like a save file, it says upload to the Xbox Network as opposed to uploading to Xbox Live. They gave
that's in line with their Xbox as the name for everything.
Sure, yeah. Like they gave a quick statement to The Verge that says Xbox Network refers to the underlying Xbox Online service, which was updated in the Microsoft Services Agreement. The update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from Xbox Live Gold memberships. So they're just trying to, I guess, like abstract out the features that people are paying for from the ones that you just get with the console, is what that sounds like.
Right. Because this is work that they would probably do in the run up to making free-to-play games playable without gold. Which they're heading towards.
That has been announced. They announced that as part of the kind of big 180
the big make good,
right?
The thing they were going to do anyway.
On that huge price increase, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this seems like just another milestone in that ongoing effort, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess what does Xbox Live mean really? If you separate it from the legacy, you get into weird territory of just like, remember Xbox Live Silver? Remember when they had to have that,
right?
Like, because they would have to distinguish between you've got a local account or you've got an Xbox Live account, and on that end you either are paying or you're not. So you're either silver or you're gold, and so there's a lot of legacy, probably just cruft and shit from that decision that now they're kind of going to rebrand around to get away from, because every Xbox can connect to the internet. Every account will connect to the internet. You don't make some, you probably still can, but like you don't pay that much attention to your offline local only account or something on an Xbox these days. So this makes sense in that context, but I mean, Xbox Live is such a it's been around.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
So
I think
it's a good name.
It's a good name.
What region was it? Regions? What were they called again? Zone.
Zone.
Yeah.
What zone are
This
you
is
on?
fucking underground, motherfucker.
If you're not recreation, I don't know if we can hang out. I'm going to be honest. if you're not just down for whatever,
Yeah.
and looking
That's
to
what
chill,
they should bring back the zones, but it should just say down for whatever.
that would be nice. What were it was underground, recreation, pro,
and
professional, or
Is that what it was?
What was the fourth?
Family-
I feel like there was
family-
four.
Was there family?
family sounds
Family?
right. Family sounds right.
It's about
We should
family.
we should do
Just
a
looking to
test
hang out and play
see
some
if that-
games, man.
see if everyone was in the same, if they'd put themselves in the same zone today.
That
as
is,
they did
dude.
back in-
That is exactly the dumb shit that I miss from the early days of the Xbox 360. It was the zones, like zones and gamer pictures and like.
oh my god, yeah.
Apparently, there is a hidden secret fifth zone.
What?
It is
Major
pro,
Nelson's-
family, recreation, and underground, and cheater for
What?
banned
Oh.
accounts.
Holy shit! Did they display
yeah.
that?
Apparently, it would
wow.
display on the zone.
Wow,
That's almost a badge of honor. I would want to seek out and get that.
that's kind of incredible. I need to see that.
The
Cheater
descriptions,
Cheater zone.
the descriptions in this Xbox wiki for what the zones are. Here's the quote for underground.
Oh, that rules.
If you aren't easily intimidated, the underground is for you, not for the faint of heart. Your battle cry? Take no prisoners.
Wait, was this official Microsoft copy?
Yes,
I
they
believe
were so
so,
serious about all of this shit.
Love it.
They were so serious about it.
I feel
What
like
does professional-
having
what does professional say?
the Ving Rhames icon means you should have to be an underground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You don't
sure.
get to be Ving Rhames or I still have the Pringles guy.
Yeah, like
mine.
I really liked the Burger King icons they put out. Those were like weirdly stylized.
The one that says for pro is, you aren't going to settle for anything less than first place, but you respect the game and your competitors. Play clean, play hard, play to win.
Okay, great.
Plain and hard, just how I like it.
That's
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
Yes, man, shit like that is why the 360 is one of my favorite consoles ever.
You got to finish it now.
They
What
just-
were the other two?
I closed
They
the
just-
tab. The other two were actually not that interesting.
They just need more earnest, corny, stupid shit in there, like just a
Yeah.
little bit.
There's no description for
long way.
cheaters. They don't give them anything.
Yeah, I feel like you can view like your monthly achievement leaderboards and stuff on an Xbox, and I feel like I made a mistake because at some point when I was just bumping around the Xbox One dashboard after they rolled out new avatars, I was like, yeah, I'll make a new avatar. And so now mine shows my dumb looking new avatar and they all look stupid, but none of the people on my friends list have touched that shit, so they just get their regular ass icons. And then there I am looking like a jack off. Like I want to go delete my avatar if I got to figure out how to
Aw,
get that idiot out of there.
I love
Ugh.
those things. Oh no, I love them.
Yeah, I realized when the Series X came in, I realized that they had lost me and all that dumb shit because I didn't change my gamer picture once for the duration of the entire Xbox One. Like I just picked that
Wow.
dumb.
They didn't have any. Like that's the thing. They made all
They were
their
not
generic
great, yeah.
ones that were just
Yeah.
like, look at this hamburger, and like I guess I'm the
Yes.
hamburger.
Yes, I was the T-bone. I was the stoned-looking T-bone steak for the entirety of the Xbox One. Yeah, disappointing. Anyway, Square Enix did a stream last week in kind of the Nintendo Direct style. Square Enix Presents, which I take to mean this is the year that every publisher does a Nintendo Direct style thing now, which great.
Probably.
That's the way to go. But it was a lot of stuff about announced games for the most part, except for Project Athia.
Yeah.
which they have now revealed to be called actually Forspoken. Excuse me,
Not for spake.
not Forsaken.
Forsaken.
Yes,
They should make a sequel to Forsaken.
not Forsworn, which it sounds like a Final Fantasy 14 expansion or something. Forspoken is the name of Project Athia. That's coming out of Luminous Productions, which I've always been a little unclear as to the purpose of. Which I think it's kind of like a pretty high end like internal development studio that they founded a very long time ago,
Yeah.
and has not put out a lot of games until now. But this looks pretty ambitious. Like the footage of this, like it's a full on PS5 and PC next gen exclusive, and it looks pretty interesting. You know, kind of third person magic tinged action adventure, but it looks very nice. Kind of a whole lot of wall running and dashing, kind of high mobility looking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like that stuff looks neat. I don't know that I feel like I'm coming away from like the stuff they put out with like a really great sense of the larger game there, but those little bits and pieces.
It's a very quick tease. You kind of get more of a sense of like what it looks and plays like. I mean, it seems very much like character from the modern world thrust into some kind of weird, dangerous fantasy setting. Like she's wearing straight up sneakers and tight jeans. You know, like she's not some fantasy sword and sorcery type. It's almost like fish out of water looking thing. But anyway, I don't know. That was the big news out of that thing, and I think that thing looks pretty good.
There's a next gen rock that just screams like Unreal Engine or something.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like Demon Souls has it too. It's
Yes.
sort of like yeah. I just keep seeing it. And I'm like, oh, that's next gen.
A lot of very good, well lit rocks. Is that the sweat tech of of this generation? Is the lighting on rocks, the very high dynamic range lighting?
Like this is
outside
just
in
a
the
follow
desert.
on from all the like photogrammetry or whatever that they did in Modern Warfare. Like that had a ton of really great looking rocks, even on last gen consoles. So imagine what these rocks are going to look like.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, looks pretty good. So the Avengers next gen stuff came out as part of that.
I tried that. I forget where I mentioned this before, but they have the performance and fidelity options there, and in performance mode, the text looks blurrier because they must be upscaling the image completely. So like menus look worse. Menus look a little blurrier on performance mode.
What? Oh man,
it's bizarre. And it's still that, and it's still that game. And then I played a little bit of it, and I was like, "Oh right, I don't want to do this at all." And that was that.
They announced some new characters for that thing, but I saw people seem to be a little perturbed that they did not mention anything about Spider-Man, who is due on the PlayStation platforms.
Yeah.
But I thought I saw people saying that maybe Spider-Man had been pushed back, but
what I read was they didn't announce it. They didn't like even address the subject, so like people were just maybe assuming it's been pushed. I'm not sure, or maybe they've announced that. I'm not sure. But I know they announced like some.
Will be coming before summer at the earliest, according to an IGN story from last week. So
yes. Okay. Another couple of quick stories here. Another Nintendo story, real fast. Like this is kind of a minor thing, but you've got let's see, 8 days left to buy Super Mario 3D All Stars. I guess also to play Super Mario 35.
Right. Yeah. And I guess also like merchandise, like they are, if you are in Tokyo, they are selling cool Mario 35th anniversary coffee cups and shit that look really neat that I'd not seen until this minute. And I'm like, oh, wait, damn.
Yeah, like that was the revelation to me of the story. I got it from Video Games Chronicle that that Nintendo's store in Tokyo will be pulling all physical copies of the game and all merchandise on the 31st. Like straight up, they're not even selling through the physical inventory that they already have out.
Yeah, I want like a video of like Miyamoto just with all the stacks of leftover copies, just throwing them into a fire and just cackling. Just a live stream of that. Of just like
you had your chance. You had your chance. I mean, it is hard to believe that like general retailers would follow this move, right? Like, surely they are free to just sell whatever copies they've got
I would assume
until
so.
they're gone. I would hope.
I would assume
but-
so.
But be warned, you've got like a week to buy
What's
that
the
thing.
reasoning behind this? Just
Nintendo is the reason.
it just seems
Yeah,
know.
Nintendo.
It's artificial scarcity. You're taking a page from the Disney Vault, perhaps.
yeah.
Maybe they'll bring it out of the vault in 5 years or something with the 40th anniversary. I don't know.
Maybe they'll put
People-
better games in it next time.
Yeah, maybe they'll do right by the games the next time they put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're also going to stop making that Super Mario Brothers Game and Watch that they put out as of that date. Weird. I don't get it.
I think it's really stupid, but it just seems like this very naked attempt at manipulating people to buy it was limited edition, buy it now, it's going off sale, but like whatever, you're creating a secondary market. Like if it hasn't happened already, you're creating a situation where people are going to go out and soak up whatever stock they can in a speculative fashion and then try and scalp it later and whatever. Like but on top of that, these games aren't even worth it. Like it's a damn shame to say, but like I feel like that collection.
Yeah, like Galaxy is
great.
good. Like Galaxy is
Galaxy,
kind of properly,
yes.
properly upgraded, but the other two less so. Mario
It just
64
it just
especially.
doesn't feel like they did right by those games, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, Nintendo has always been the Disney of video games, so this is not the most surprising move, I suppose.
Do you watch videos of that theme park?
Yep.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it officially opened,
Looks
didn't it?
fun. Yeah,
Calling
so
me.
YouTube's full of just like I didn't realize there is just a whole. I should have known, but there's just a whole economy
Oh
of
man.
like theme park YouTubers
Mm-hmm.
who like
Oh, yeah.
do
Yeah.
walk and talks, and then there's the no commentary ones, so you can immerse yourself.
4K
then there's, like,
60 ride view.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, are people just straight up like GoProing to their foreheads and just giving you the first person experience?
Yep. No,
Yeah,
you gotta
I mean,
stick
there's
it to your
loads,
chest.
yeah. They don't
No,
seem
so
to
you
care
get the
there.
POV.
Yes, I see.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Remember going places?
No,
Me neither.
Not
No.
really. No.
Really
I never
thinking
did.
about that Disneyland. Really.
Yeah.
Is it open?
Godspeed to you.
yes,
April 30th.
Wow.
California residents only.
Wait, really?
Yep.
I think
Huh.
Disney
Never
World
Limited
is
capacity.
open, right?
Oh, Disney World is been open. I don't know if
Yeah.
they've shut that down.
They don't give a fuck.
No. Well, Florida.
Spring
but, like,
break.
Yeah, right.
Yes. It's Florida.
I thought I read something saying that they were going to try to disallow people from screaming on the rides because it's not safe. I don't know if that's true or not.
hey, it
but-
works at Japanese wrestling events. So.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's clapping only, right?
I mean, screaming is a good way to fill the air with spittle. So
Exactly.
Does
No, I
make
mean,
a
I get it.
certain
Like,
amount of
it's,
sense.
yes. But I feel like if that's the thing, if that's the rule you have to lay down, fucking stay closed.
yeah,
Get those front
Just
seats.
clap on the rides.
I can't disagree. Okay. Last story here. Warner Brothers has delayed Gotham Knights into 2022. That's the
I think everything's just getting delayed until.
that's the
Yeah.
Batman without Batman game.
I
That's
forgot
the
this game
co-op.
existed until
Oh,
the delay
yes.
happened. I was like, oh,
Let's
right.
see.
What is this?
That is the co-op Batman themed game that does not have Batman in it. Instead, it has Red Hood, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin.
And that's the Montreal studio,
Yes.
right? Okay.
That is the Montreal studio, and I don't know what it says that I had an easier time remembering this game than whatever it is that Rocksteady is working on.
I'm sitting here trying to think about what Rocksteady is working on, and it is not coming to
It's a
mind.
Suicide Squad game, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Right.
Everyone's
Suicide Squad,
favorite,
Kill
the
the Justice League.
Suicide Squad.
Yes, Kill the Justice League. That's the game that they're making. It took me a minute. Anyway, Gotham Knights had been announced for this year. It is not coming out this year any longer. It feels like it's going to become a common refrain. You tell me. Not
Yes.
that there's a whole lot of games confirmed for this year to begin with, but I wonder
like that's all the same problem, right? Is it's
Yes.
developers waiting or people waiting to confirm games because that stuff is really up in the air, and a lot of announced games being like, Danny's been talking about it the past couple weeks, but like that's like every conversation I'm having now is definitely like, ugh. And I think this year is going to be kind of a wash in a lot of ways. Not to say there'll be nothing, but there's not a lot of games coming out these past few weeks, and I don't know if we're ever going to get to that point where you suddenly feel like, there's so many games coming out. Like even this end of fiscal thing we keep talking about or halfway joking about, like it's not like the next 2 weeks are like packed full of games the way it normally is.
Yes,
Yeah.
for the last 2 weeks of March, it's fairly thin.
Yeah,
on that front. I don't know. My gut feeling is anything that's got a date through maybe the summer, let's say, like June, July, is probably a safe bet at this point.
Is Mario Golf the last game that comes out this year?
Yeah, yes, for sure. Yes, it's the only.
It's the last game you'll need, though. Yeah, I mean, when that comes out, you'll be like, I'm good.
But that's like
all day.
That's like Outriders, Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank. Like that stuff, I feel like is probably a safe bet. But then, like second half of the year, I don't know.
It's funny, especially like with the new consoles. It seems, you'd want 12 months after. That's when you start getting your Oblivions, and all that stuff.
Right. Like I scrolled through my PS5 list of recently played games, which is bafflingly short compared to the PS4 one, but whatever. Practically all of them said PS4 next to them. Like almost every game in that row, as I was scrolling through it, had like the little PS4 thing next to it, because mostly PS4 games coming out right now.
Just think all the scuttlebutt that's around like games like Valheim and Loop Hero. These are games that are coming out kind of in a bit of a desert of other experiences. Outriders probably got a lot of eyeballs because of that as well.
Right. And some of these games from smaller devs, like you're gonna have situations where some of those teams are already used to working from home and working remotely and all that stuff. So like the last year hasn't always been a huge change for them. But
yeah, totally.
Games at larger scales are going to be affected. They announced a date, or I see a lot of 2021s for the next God of War, but is that from Sony or is that people inferring that?
I don't think that game's ever had a release date.
Yeah.
Let's just see here. I'm quite sure. Also searching for God of War 2. I guess I should be searching for God of War Ragnarok, even though I don't think they've ever come out and said that's the actual name of the game. That's what everybody's calling it.
Yeah, it's kind of Untitled God of War sequel on Wikipedia and some of these other places, but like that's listed as 2021 there. I can't imagine.
There's going to be a lot of games that haven't been redated either, right? Because everyone's been so future shocked at the moment. They don't know what it's going to be like in 12 years. So no one's saying like the 2021 game will be out in 2022 because they don't even know that maybe.
Right.
So I wonder if we're just running into like that problem there where we'll have a lot of 2021s. Like Starfield, people keep thinking might be out this year, but like we've also not heard anything about that game in, 2.5 years, right? So who knows? Like,
and like I know, I can only speak to the acquisitions I have been through over the course of my career, but I know it really slaps like your ability to get work done slows way the fuck down because you're like, wait, we got to, especially in a pandemic, like we got to send laptops back. I used it. Like, okay, all right. Like we got to go sit in another round of security and HR meeting. Okay, all right. So like that's gonna slow things down at least a little bit. Okay, so I guess the tease they put out from Sony had for God of War had 2021 on it.
Said it on there.
Yeah. I can't imagine that's gonna happen.
PlayStation kind of needs it. Well, I guess it doesn't for selling hardware, but so that's the other thing.
Yeah, if there's no hardware, who cares? Like, it's just everyone's gonna, we can sit on our hands for a year, and then on the other end of it, pretend like none of this ever happened, and just extend the generation out a year.
Well, yeah, I mean they have quarterly and annual revenue targets to hit. Like they can't kick the can down the road on that stuff forever. And they already pushed Gran Turismo, so maybe Horizon is their big holiday game this year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I heard that when I was trying to stream the podcast on my phone last week, the Starfield discussion. About it coming out. Like all other things being equal, like a pandemic notwithstanding, I would have been shocked if it didn't come out this year, frankly. Just looking at how long it's been since they shipped a game. But
Yeah.
with all those
76
extra
they ended up
factors,
doing a lot of work on as well.
yeah, that's I guess maybe I'm taking for granted how much that might have eaten up the time of like BGS proper, as opposed to the Austin studio that
Yeah,
led
they
that
ended
game?
up. There was 3 of them because they also bought that mobile studio, in, I think it's Montreal. That was also working on it too.
Did Battle Cry eventually? Because Battle Cry was making the game called Battle Cry, and then
Yeah, so
they weren't.
they got folded in. So
Yeah.
they got bought by Bethesda, and then they basically, I think they took that tech because it was the online sort of stuff. They were all like network people, and then basically like took the Fallout 4 engine and tried to make it multiplayer. That's kind of how it happened. But I know that it wasn't a plan that BGS proper get involved, but BGS proper in Rockville, Maryland worked at least, I think, 9 months, maybe a year, almost entirely on 76.
Okay, and Battle Cry is BGS Austin now. Like that's the Austin studio was Battle Cry. Okay, all right.
Okay. That probably changes the timeline then quite a bit.
And also post-launch, who knows, right? Because 76 obviously didn't have a great reception, and then they were basically playing catch-up. So I don't know if the Maryland studio then ended up actually spending even more time helping out.
Stop modeling spaceships. We need you to knit these bags. We've got to get these bags out to people.
If we don't have at least 6 varieties of bag, how are we going to sell extra bags to people? Yes.
Bags all the way down.
I mean, just looking at that studio's history, though, like I think, was it 4 years is the longest they've gone without shipping a game previously? From Skyrim to Fallout 4 was 4 years, and this holiday will be 6 since Fallout 4 came out.
It's just open world games, though. Just unless you're really into outsource management, which a lot of these studios haven't been traditionally. Like, look at Rockstar; they've gotten longer, right? Just because open world games with the new fidelity, they're so, like, I don't know, materials, content intensive.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Who knows? It could be a while yet. Okay. That's what we got for news this week. It was a busy week of things happening.
Finally.
Oh, we didn't touch on I meant to touch on the Microsoft Discord rumors in the Xbox Live, Xbox Network stuff. Like that's going around, but who knows?
It feels like it's
word on the street.
Like, hey, Microsoft is maybe one of several, or like, hey, they're talking because everyone's always talking. I don't know.
Yes, some discussion that Discord is up for sale for a significant sum of money, but who knows until something actually happens there. So stay tuned.
I like Discord and hope it doesn't get fucked up.
Yeah, Discord's pretty good.
Remember Skype? That used to be all right.
Yeah.
Then Microsoft bought it.
Skype is a real bummer now. It's a real bummer.
What about Microsoft Teams? You into it?
I've
got into it.
I've been doing some idling
out a few times. Yeah,
I've been doing some idling on IRC recently. So let's talk communications protocols.
All right. I'm going to ride a split into your channel and steal ops from you.
Man, dude, fucking trying to get your channel back after somebody took it over during a server split is maybe more fun than any video game I've ever played. Because you were working against real fucking opponents and having to social engineer them out of the ops they stole from your fucking channel. Those were exciting times.
I'm going to spoof this IP and then hope they don't notice the tilde here. And then
you straight up would have to like impersonate their friends to try to get them to give you ops so you could boot them all out of the channel they stole.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff was amazing and emergent in a way that you cannot recreate.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Late nights trying to get ops back. Like they're all going to go to sleep. And then as soon as they do, we know a guy who can make the servers split.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get on the other side of the split, get ops there, and then right up. No, trust me, we're gonna collide with all of them, bump them all off when the servers reconnect. This is gonna work. Trust me. I got all these egg drops.
Is this where all the EVE Online players came from?
Possibly,
kind of.
Maybe?
Like actually, yeah, kind of. Probably.
Yeah. Fun times. All right, that's it for news. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with some emails in just a minute. See you then.
Keeps, because it's time to keeps your hair to keep your hair. Not keep. You can keep your hair with Keeps. It's a simple, stress-free way to hang on to your hair. What Keeps offers is convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications that get delivered straight to your door every 3 months, so you don't have to leave your home, and they're low cost. The treatments start at just $10 a month, and Keeps offers generic versions to help keep those costs low. It comes in discreet packaging, it's got proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. Prevention is key, and treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act now. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/bomb to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/bomb to get your first month free. keeps.com/bomb.
Emails. They are electronic and they were sent to us. Now I'm going to read them. What do you
It's a
think?
federal offense if you read someone else's email.
That's not. They opened them before they got it. They were already opened when I found them. I swear.
Okay.
These
I believe you.
envelopes cut open nicely with a. I'll use a letter opener.
Use
Just-
my
I
finger. Ultimate
have,
letter
but I have an Ocarina of Time letter opener shaped like a sword.
That's kind of cool. Is
Hey,
that from? Wait, is
listen
that?
to this
Hang on, I have to.
letter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to. Is that from 1998 or is that from like the 3DS re-release?
I believe it is 98. I believe it is
Wow.
original
Wow.
That's
vintage.
pretty good. That's pretty good. That's some old swag. Okay.
Tell it to my plush Bubsy or my 3DO CD wallet.
Oh,
Okay. Sure. God, now I'm trying to think. What is the oldest thing that I have? I took that big statue of a Jack and Daxter precursor orb into the office, and then it got lost, and I don't know what happened to it. Sad.
Ugh.
Bummer.
Forever bread.
Yes.
Tried looking for it. I'm sorry.
I know.
did
Thank
someone,
you. I
did
appreciate
someone
it.
save
So-
that sacrifice poster that was
Sacrifice.
lying around in
I
the
don't know.
office? I saved it
I
from
don't
the
think
3-to-1
so.
move, but I don't know if.
I doubt it.
I don't
I haven't
know, yeah.
seen that. I also don't know what happened to the Skid Row poster, which makes me very sad.
It's involved.
Okay.
And
All
we
right.
still have it. We still have it for sure. But it's
Good.
ooh, it's really wow.
I
That
ventured.
stuffed.
down.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did that stuffed otter or whatever it is, the thing that Dan had?
Oh
Has
no.
that been-
Yep. That
Aggro-
safely got
aggro-
moved.
Okay.
Yeah. It is.
He became a
Weasel?
prop after a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made
Yes.
sure to
Yes.
mark it keep in the packing process.
Yes,
Oh, good.
Agrofreg has achieved a place of prominence. Let's say.
I was about to say, I visited the office like maybe a month ago, and when I went to where my new desk is located, there were a bunch of stuffed animals on it that were not mine.
Callie's moving in.
Ah, man.
Okay, all right, sure. I have a VM Labs Rainbow Slinky.
Ooh.
VM Labs maker of the Nuon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really? That famous
Awesome.
console, the Nuon. That's the oldest thing I
Got some X-Men versus Street Fighter PlayStation 1 memory card stickers.
Okay, that's not bad.
Those are cool.
Not bad.
Highly custom.
Yeah.
My Abe's Exodus Soulstorm Brew bottle opener. That's my prized possession. Okay. Emails.
Nuon is part of the 6th generation of video game consoles.
Oh, of course it is. That definitely came out and was a factor in the industry.
Yeah. You can was it Merlin Cart? That it had
Wait, did it come out?
Yes, the new one did
Did
come
they
out.
ship the Nuon? I thought it got
Yes.
canceled.
No, it was
Am I
just a
thinking of
DVD
Phantom?
player that could play video games. You're thinking of the Phantom.
Phantom never came out except for the laptop.
Yeah.
I have a piece
Yeah,
of
the
Phantom
lapboard.
as well. I forget.
Yeah. I kind of wanted new one.
Boy,
What's you need to tell me what Merlin Kart is? Is that Mario Kart? But with,
It's a shitty, yes.
oh my god!
it ran on a DVD player.
What?
Yep.
It had
Well, when you
Nuon.
get down to it, the PS2 was also a DVD player. So
sure, but this was more of Merlin Racing is the actual name of the game, not Merlin
Wow.
Kart. But yeah.
Oh, that looks like a Mario Kart ripoff right there. Look at
Oh, yeah.
that. You can get a Toshiba Nuon on eBay for $60.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Giving it away.
Well, all right.
The tech
There
scarcity
you go.
hasn't caught up to the second-hand Nuon market yet.
Jeff seems like he hasn't got enough old hardware lying around his house, so I thought
Right.
that's the cherry on top.
Is Merlin locked up and you're racing to free him, or?
I have no idea. A version of Tempest, like a Jeff Minter Tempest game, also came out on that thing.
That's great.
Oh,
That's great. That's great.
Nuance.
Okay. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the address. This is where the emails go. Here are a few. Here's one from Andrew in Richmond, Virginia. Good idea or not? An emergency hot dog that heats up when you crack it like a glow stick.
Ooh.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm into that.
yeah.
The cracking of a glow stick is one of the most just beautiful haptic experiences you can enjoy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to that hot dog to make it so brittle that it cracks, though? And then also, like, what chemicals are involved?
There's like a skin that cracks, and then the skin
Okay.
heats up the dog.
and then comes off. It's like a sterno skin.
You're kind of like you're crossbreeding hot dogs with Slim Jims. So you get that kind of like Slim Jim skin for a snap there, but then you got to fill it with chemicals that heat it up, and hopefully, I mean, ideally, also make it glow, because why not go all the way?
Yeah. Have you guys seen? They'll sell like the instant noodle stuff, but you just pour water over it, and then some magic happens, and then it starts boiling because you just pour like regular tap water over like a packet. It's like boiling hot pots. It's like portable hot pots. It's great.
Yeah, they make stuff for truckers, like heater meals for truckers that I bought when we were driving to E3 once, and then let them sit for a very long time, and that didn't go well. But it was like it came with like the whole, all those like hand warmer, pocket warmer type technology.
Yeah.
You just pull the thing. So it was like pancakes and sausage, but you would just pull a tab on it to make the heating element go, and you could do it in your big rig while you were fucking. When you had white line fever and you're
certain Asian grocery stores, they'll sell tea. It's like, it reminds me of ramune, but it'll be a clear bottle, and then as soon as you twist the top, like something releases and the whole thing starts fizzing, and then it becomes either a black tea or like a fruity fizzy drink. It's amazing. It's great technology.
That's great.
Yeah, like food grenades.
We probably already have this. This technology probably exists somewhere.
Yeah, it's just you need all the apparatus to be edible, I think, for what we're talking about here. I mean, obviously you could heat up a hot dog. That's child's play. I heated up a hot dog with tinfoil out in the sun once. But yeah, to do it and have it be edible. Yeah, back in my day, I sat outside for a very long time and made a hot dog slightly warm.
Just to cook our eggs on the bonnet of the car.
Now that's science. You damn kids.
Okay. All right. From hot dogs to watches. It's a natural segue. Email
I put
from
a hot
Taylor.
dog around my wrist.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
That feel good.
On Monday, March 22nd, Seiko launched a new watch honoring Kojima Productions for about $4,000 US. While this is only moderately priced in the world of watches, and indeed there are Seikos that are easily over 10 times that amount, my question is this: what video game property or character would you want to influence an expensive watch's design? Personally, I am still waiting for a sleeve display so that I can have a high-tech Pip-Boy in the real world.
Just
Knobby boy.
They already taped your phone to your wrist. We're done. It's already happened.
They already did the Street Fighter watches. That's out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
So
I still fucking want that Final Fantasy Spirits Within watch.
Oh yeah,
and it is still $1,000.
I mean, that sounds like a steal in Seiko terms.
What about a James Bond watch that shot lasers that I could use to, burn my hand because I accidentally had it my wrist back?
I mean, my perpetual answer is
video game character James Bond. that guy from the games.
Right, just like I want the video game character Dick Tracy video watch. I want a video camera on my wrist and I could talk to people on it. Tiny screen. Just put that in the Apple Watch.
They already do the walkie-talkie like audio watch stuff. It doesn't, it doesn't have the camera. Right? Oh no, it doesn't.
It have it.
I don't think
Does the Apple Watch have it?
I don't think that thing has a camera yet, but they should just make the Dick Tracy app.
Oh, it totally has. Yeah, it's got a.
My son's wristwatch has a camera on it. I gotta.
No, it does not. Oh,
Wow.
no.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
what it? No, the Apple Watch does not. You can use it as a remote for the camera on your phone, but not.
Oh, okay.
It monitors
takes
everything
pictures of that
else.
thing all
which
the
is
time.
nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Give me a Soulstorm Brew watch to go with my bottle opener. That's all I've got.
Yep.
Hmm.
I want a Nuon watch that tells me what time that it is. When's the Nuon coming back? No, bring back Squash Internet Time. That's
Sure.
and tie it to some video
dogs.
game again. Yeah.
Yes.
300 beats. Time to eat a hot dog.
Always. Mike from Austin. With the release of the Snyder Cut last week, I started thinking about what games I would want to get a new director's cut. The obvious answer is the Kojima cut of Metal Gear Solid 5. That game feels like 70% finished, at least narratively speaking, and I would like to see what his whole vision was, even if it still left a whole lot unanswered. My question is, are there any games that you would want to see the director's true vision on? MGS5 was my answer before I even read this email. As soon as I saw Snyder Cut of video games, like, instantly the thing that came to mind, because, like, shit, man. Just a gaping hole at the end of that game where the rest of the story should be.
Like in the
Asura's
desert
Wrath.
part, I stopped
What's that?
after when that game decided to just keep going. I stopped playing because I was like, I thought it ended. The whole it was a North Africa part that was in it then.
Yeah,
It was like a different biome.
Yes, that goes for a while. If
Yeah,
I'm not
is that the part with the no story? Because there was too much story in that game.
I mean, they conclude that game by just having you play the beginning mission of the game again, and then kind of slapping an ending on it. Like that
That's
was
right.
a lot left out
God.
from the looks of things.
I don't
Any
know.
other ideas?
Maybe Yoko Taro wanted to do more stuff in that Final Fantasy 14 raid than he could.
Was it not great?
Oh no, I think it was well received, but like
Okay.
who knows? Maybe he wanted to do more, but they wouldn't let him.
Chat points out KOTOR 2 is a game that was infamously unfinished when it shipped. To the point that there's like restored content people have pulled out of the install and put back in there and stuff.
That's true.
Generally speaking, I think there are probably some games that would be exceptions to this, but generally speaking, I think most games and probably movies and most other story-based media could probably use tighter edits. Not fuck it, put it all back in. Like more quality control, not less. Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's take out some of this mindless grind here in the back third of this game. You know, you think about like the Wind Waker stuff where they found ways to tighten up that whole part near the end. Like, that's probably more of what games need,
Yeah, agreed.
as opposed to just like, hey, there's all this unfinished stuff. You have so many people like, oh, we got robbed of all this unfinished content. It's like, you probably didn't. You're probably fine without it. The game's probably better without it in a lot of cases.
Also, like the single auteur thing doesn't really work in games, to the point where also like a lot of the mythos around Kojima himself is just nonsense. Like it's just, it's a convenient marketing sort. There's a lot of very talented people who work on those games.
Yes, people love a figurehead.
Yeah, but they're rare and rare because it's kind of untenable. Like if you dig down into the surface of how these games are made, suddenly that whole thing just falls apart.
You can go down some rabbit holes on that stuff for sure.
Yeah. Now, David Crane made Pitfall alone. I think about that.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. You go back far enough, it applies.
I have found some very deep analysis out there about speculating about who actually wrote what on Metal Gear Solid 2, for example. Like there is a whole subculture of people who think that there's maybe some other people that played pretty instrumental roles in that stuff. But anyway, yes, you're absolutely right. All right. Spencer in New York. How did Daft Punk not just hand the helmets over to the next generation? They're faceless artists. Daft Punk could literally be an eternal robot force a royalty class for the next generation. What other nameless, faceless artists should become eternal if given this chance? You know, I've got a certain amount of respect for the fact that they just killed their whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, like they just put an end to it. They're like, we're done. This is done.
But like that, the footage they put out was just stuff from Electroma, right? It's not like they went out and shot new stuff of the robots dying. Is it? I want to say that's just from the movie they made years ago, but maybe they had anyway. That aside, they are leaving themselves in a situation where they can always come back to it if they want to.
Sure, but you know they won't be around forever, and
also some things should end. Some things should just end, as opposed to being this eternal faceless thing about like, no, this is the end of this story. We got to the point where we're wrapped up.
Yes, making the characters based on suits live on forever while killing off all of the actors with faces is a thing that Disney does.
Yeah,
maybe think about that.
Well, with all these digital actors, it's now anyone can live forever.
Han Solo is gone, but Chewbacca will be around for a while.
Tupac coming to a stadium near you.
Oh.
Wait, Tupac is the new Han Solo?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm here for it.
Chewbacca.
Steve Aoki is the new Daft Punk guy.
Both.
Yeah, he's both of them. He wears both helmets.
Yes. Let's see here. All right, he's back. The master returns. Nathan from Tumwater, Washington. Hi. Man, he really threw a curveball on this one too, because I thought I had an answer.
He's the Danny O'Dwyer of his era.
Right? That's right. Means he's destined to work here in 8 to 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah, time.
He writes, hi, would you rather live in 90-degree weather for the rest of your life or 2 inches of snowfall every day for the rest of your life? This is the point at which I thought I had an answer to this email, but then he added on an extra provision here. Let's assume the roads would be clear of snow, and in the 90-degree weather, you would have air conditioning. And now
90-degree weather.
Now I'm not sure.
Yeah, 90-degree weather. I've lived that life of like 2 inches of snow every day. No, I can't.
Oh, he didn't spell out like.
No, you don't.
Would the snow accumulate, or would it melt and you get like, would it always be at a 2-inch level, or would you be getting it piling up day after day?
That's unsustainable. Like, yeah, it would have to melt. But 2 inches, that's a lot to have melt in like one day. And no, I could live without the snow. There's only so much you can do with it. Oh,
dude,
if it's dirty like and just nasty all the time, it's gross. Snow is gross.
If it's 90 degrees all the time, I could get a nice tan. I could finally get super fit and buff again, and then just wear tanks all the time.
Ooh, damn.
Think about the rise of tribal tats, you know?
90 is too damn hot.
You get acclimated to it.
The right 90 degrees, I think, would be fine.
Jean shorts coming back, baby.
Yeah. Are they? Are you just talking about this fantasy world of 90-degree weather, or are we really going to bring back jean shorts? Because we have to.
Both.
Okay. Jean shorts are a little thick for 90 degrees. But...
I'm gonna bring back crop tops for dudes. I'm gonna do it.
Socks.
All right.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you, Jan.
Show the navel.
Somebody had to.
Okay.
Imagine this podcast: black tees but crop tops.
You have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
I actually cut this shirt off. You just can't see it.
Right. Same.
There we go.
Gotta let this belly out somehow.
I don't know, man.
Gotta air out, you know?
90 degrees, you'd be running that AC all the time, man. Your power bill would be through the roof.
Get solar.
Snow.
I don't know.
You got those rose-tinted glasses for the snow. After the 2 years in Maryland, I was I'm okay now again with no snow.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
We only got it like
causes
once,
problems.
twice. Yes, I could definitely understand that for sure.
They said the roads would be clear.
Yes. It's really kind of the ideal version of either, you know. It's like clear roads, air conditioning. You really take your pick. How about Nikki from Auckland in New Zealand?
How about Nikki?
You guys? Yes. You guys need to wear headphones during streams, but how essential are they to your gaming? Do you continue to wear headphones when playing a single-player game on your own time, or do you prefer to let your ears take a breath?
I like headphones pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Over the ear ones, yeah, usually. I've been getting more into earbuds every now and again, but yeah, I love it. Love the immersion.
I hate it. It's been a necessity for the last year working at home and working at nights when the family's asleep and stuff like that. But there's a fidelity that's nice with like the stereo separation and stuff like that. But like I get more headaches and TMJ jaw aches and stuff like that from all this headphone time, and I really don't like it. Like I spent an okay amount of money on cool subwoofers and home theater stuff that I might as well just throw on the fucking street because I don't get to use it anymore. And damn shame. I want to shake windows. I want to let the world know what the fuck I'm up to over here.
Like, there's like a top 3 reason to own a house to me is turn the speakers up as loud as you want, right up there with having network rack in the basement. And like one other
I
thing.
don't know. The dude downstairs doesn't seem to give a shit about the people above him. So I don't know.
There you go.
Fair.
Blast it
There's
back.
a reason.
Yes.
Yeah. Headphones are
Yeah,
like
I have a ridiculous amount of headphones. Man.
they're like a work thing for me. So
Yeah.
editing is kind of a lot of making sure the audio isn't annoying at its like most fidelity. So if I'm not doing this, I have them off. I have to.
Yes. Big shout out to
anyone-
whoever
have any
put
of you
headphone jacks, in the console controllers last generation. For if you live with people who have to go to bed early, it's pretty damn nice to just be able to plug any old headphones right into those controllers. That is a nice feature.
Speaking of that, have any of you used those 3D headset that the PS5? Are they the Pulse? Is that what it's called?
Yes,
Are they good?
I have. I tried it recently. I hate it.
Oh, really?
I hate them. The cups are too fucking small. I can't.
Like
I hate-
$100,
I hate
right?
hear you, but
I hate small cups.
Yeah,
I think that's
$100
about
bucks.
right.
the small cups just land on my ears. It's like not over.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
I
worse.
just have a large head or something. But they're
You need them.
there's not really there's no solid adjustment. It's just this rubber thing.
Oh, gross.
And so it's like, and that slides up and down to try to adjust, but it's like, it's too tight on my head and they just feel too small. And I thought the audio quality was not great compared to plugging in these, or actually I have those Creative Labs headphones that I used to use on the PC. I just USB-C those into the front of the PS5 and it works. And those have been good quality wise, but I feel like these have just not done it. I was pretty disappointed with them.
Y'all try the 3D audio adjustment in the PS5 settings, the thing where you can like raise and lower the level, and you're supposed to like dial it in to where, and they're like, everybody's ear is different. Like your preference will vary from person to person, and like there's definitely a huge difference between the different settings, but I couldn't figure out which one was the right one.
I could narrow it down to 2, but like the idea is like there's like 5 different settings and it raises and lowers the sound of water running, and you're supposed to figure out like where the level matches your ears.
Yeah, I think that's the wording that they give you is like set it at the level that sounds the closest to your ears or something like that.
Yeah,
But
and so you can
sitting?
like spatially, I had a hard time like figuring that out. Like I was like,
it's like based on the shape of your ears, really. Like you know, so
ETRFs or whatever it is. I forget the.
Yeah, so you're not sending your pictures of your ears to Mark Cerny. Instead, they just like guessed at 5 ears, and you can set it really low. And so I thought it was kind of neat because you actually do hear like on the 5 different settings, you hear the water rushing down here, and then it's here, and then for me it was somewhere in the middle. But there were 2 that seemed appropriate, where one was like maybe bottom of the ear and one was top of the ear, and I wasn't sure what to go with. But yeah, like I was able to dial it in.
Interesting.
I'll check that out.
I think I ended up just turning it off. Like I just didn't want to think about it. Just give me stereo audio, whatever. I'm good.
No, man. You need to hear those footsteps coming up behind you, man.
Speaking of footsteps coming up behind you, Josh from Montana.
Oh no,
Josh.
Remember when IO put Sean Bean and Gary Busey in Hitman? I was just watching Terminator 2 and seeing Robert Patrick's T-1000 disguised as a cop, security guard, foster parent, real parent, etc. Makes me sad there was never a Terminator-themed DLC. It seems like just the right kind of silly for a game that is crafted around disguises and assassination. I know this won't happen. I just had to get it out of my system so I can stop thinking about it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Not
You're
sure. What would that? I'm trying to picture what that would look like. Are you playing the
Terminator one?
T-1000, or are you trying to assassinate one? Because you
Yeah,
can't
like
kill one.
what?
You
What?
you could change
if
it at any
instead of-
time if you were playing.
Yeah.
Alice.
You can't kill that thing.
Yeah, if you were trying to kill it, like, what do you? Yeah, gonna come up behind it and try to choke it out? Like, that's not going to work.
You can't shoot it with a grenade or any of that. Nothing works.
But maybe the level, maybe it's a foundry level. Maybe there's, you can,
Oh yeah.
you just have to
That's right,
wait till
yeah.
it's walking over a catwalk and push them in and be like, all right,
Only
It's
one
like
very
every level.
specific-
There's a
one-
there's like a there's a
There's
lava
a-
pit or
There's
something.
a bit of molten metal in every single level because only
Yeah.
one very specific confluence of events can kill that thing. The reverse is kind of an interesting idea of like that thing can imitate anything it touches. So like if you could just disguise yourself as anything you touched, although that would be kind of easy, I guess. But
that
like,
would just be that's just a faster animation, right? I mean, it's just instead of
Yeah.
you putting on the uniform, you're just touching it and morphing, which
well, you don't have to
would still be
incapacitate
cool. Oh,
at that
right.
point.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
brush up against them and then become them, that kind of thing.
Right.
You can kind of do that in Prey. You turn into pretty much any object.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about going back to Prey since they patched
Prey.
the
Got that mode.
performance stuff in there.
It's real good.
I liked what I played of it.
I think that System Shock remake is coming out soon enough as well, isn't it? The Night Dive one, not the
Maybe.
System Shock 3,
Yeah,
right?
not-
Because
not
that was.
three, but
Right.
remake of
I think there's a
Yeah,
demo
yeah.
out for it now, anyway.
Yeah,
For-
they've had like an alpha out for a while
Mm.
with that.
Just says summer on Steam.
I'll check that out. Speaking of that kind of game, did you see that BioShock Total Conversion for Half-Life Alyx that came out?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want
looks
to.
cool.
I mean, like, I cannot in good conscience play that before I play actual Alyx. Like, I did play the first few hours of Alyx, and I should really finish it before I start playing mods for it. But I hear that thing's very good. Like, I hear it's like a very convincing Rapture in VR.
I hate the naming
and-
convention. It's like Half-Life Alyx Rapture or something.
Yes,
So it's so dirty. Yeah.
a little weird,
Yeah.
but like, I think they just straight up lifted a bunch of assets out of BioShock, right, and stuck them in there.
Oh wow.
I think they hired a voice actor. Like they hired like a fake Atlas, like the guy on the other end of the radio,
Yeah.
to like narrate it or something. It was like a weird.
He had a good
project.
Irish accent, and he was an American actor, so
Oh, interesting.
very impressive. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Here's a good email from Daniel in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Recently, the first several episodes of Double Dare were put on Paramount Plus. What is that? So I've been down a deep Nick game show hole. I know what that is.
Yeah.
One of the delights I get out of watching these is to see the gift prizes the kids would win for completing each stage of the obstacle course.
Oh yeah.
And with the first episode shot in 1986, there are some gems. So I ask, if you were going to get one of the following Double Dare prizes from the first episode today, which one would you choose? Okay. A brand new Garfield telephone.
Okay.
A hairstyle
Okay.
kit with bright colors.
Ooh.
A Nash skateboard.
Yo,
Ooh,
those
the razor
Which
blade
Nash?
or the saw blade? Hmm.
Probably.
Those Nash completes were not well regarded, but also hilarious.
It was an entry level board, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
An electronic typewriter. A $250 Toys R Us gift certificate.
yo.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. I thought I saw somebody trying to bring the Toys R Us name back in some capacity.
Yeah, someone else bought it.
Ready? We'll see.
Yeah.
The Atari
Uh,
people probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got it on the blockchain. Don't worry, it's going to be great.
Toys R Us
The
got
last
embraced.
ones on the list are a VCR, a 19-inch RCA color tube TV,
Ooh.
Okay.
and a several-day stay at Disney Hotel at Disney World.
Does that include like a ticket to Disney World or just the hotel?
I would think so.
Do I have to go now, or can I wait a year?
Hmm.
There's
I
no
mean, VCR players are really expensive. So
Yeah,
that's not a
VCRs
bad-
are rare. Like I would seriously think about that 19-inch TV, depending on how good of a TV it was, because CRTs
Yeah.
not that easy to get these days either.
certain Nash skateboards can go for a lot these days.
Okay, all right.
Oh, so sorry, I missed the part where we're talking about these prizes in a today context. Okay, because I was going to say, well, like, you take the $250 from Toys R Us and you go buy video games. Like, what are you doing? But okay,
It doesn't work so well in 2020.
no, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's a bad choice now.
Yeah.
Yes.
These skateboards
I
are
had
Yeah,
to
give me
go
that
VCR.
TV. Yeah. I want that TV, man.
Yeah, I might have to go for the TV if it's not a bad TV. Although
Those
in
are base
1986, a 1986 19-inch TV, probably not that great, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, it would properly display the Snyder Cut in all its glory.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm.
Made for the
IMAX.
aspect. That's right. You're not wrong about that. Okay. Maybe one more email. How about Brian from Nebraska? I think this is open to interpretation. If you could only have one type of burrito for the rest of your life and it's always free of charge, what burrito would it be? And that immediately made me go like, what? How many types of burritos are there, actually?
Well, I mean,
They all kind of run together for me.
you're getting different meats. You're getting, I
Different
assume,
beans, like
are we
fries or
talking like,
nuts?
hey, like one specific brand and you get the whole,
Yeah, I
their
mean,
whole catalog, or
I took it to mean we're talking like very different styles of burrito because
What's the chips one? The one with French fries? The San Diego
California,
one?
baby.
California
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Isn't that like a San Diego thing? California
Yeah.
burrito?
I think that's right. Like Mission style, obviously, is the
You can
one
get
you
them
get in
here, but
San Francisco, right? Like that is my
Yeah.
default answer. Like, just
Yep.
give me a Taqueria Cancun burrito for free every day from now on. I will be good.
sure.
I've had some real good, real big burritos in like Santa Monica though too. That Southern California style is not to be. Don't sleep on it too much.
Oh, I guess there's like wet burritos, right? I guess there are different
Yeah.
configurations of burrito out there. There's a breakfast burrito now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually, shit.
I haven't heard the full question yet, but I would specifically go back to 2014, El Taconazo near my old spot in Daly City. Shouts out to Senor Alberto. I don't know where the heck that guy is anymore. But that guy, on Valentine's Day that year, I was very, very sad and single. He gave me 2 burritos because he thought I had a significant other. It was like, hey, here, have one for your lady friend.
Wow.
And I didn't have one, and it was raining that Valentine's Day, so I'd go back to that.
Did you eat both the burritos?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Did you-
Yeah, you did.
Did you sob your way through the second one?
Through the first one.
Okay, all right.
I cannot imagine eating 2 burritos in one sitting. Holy shit.
When you're sad, Brad.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And especially if the second one was free.
But like free
Yeah.
for a reason that makes you sadder along the way. You're just like, oh, I've been given the greatest gift, but it comes with a knife stuck right in my heart.
It's great. It's great. It was a great year. It's a great year.
Yes. I mean, I'm reminded that San Francisco has got such a weird fare as the sushi Rito, like their senior sisig, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Oh.
Speaking as a
Oh.
Filipino dude,
Oh no.
I can't completely fuck with it because I
Oh.
can't justify paying that much for a thin ass burrito. And I don't know. I got
respect
words, but
I
I
respect
respect them and their hustle. I love them. I support them.
That's-
Can't completely fuck with them all the time though.
They went bougie, man. They were serving the fucking Soma crowd for so long that now it's like $15 for this anemic ass burrito.
I
Forgot
remember
their root.
going to a Foster City Kmart when they were still like young and hungry and scrappy, and then like that's when the burritos were fat. Now it's
They had something
like
to prove.
yeah, now it's like a kindergartner's arm or something.
And
Yeah.
Make it
It's a
down
shame.
with it.
It's a shame. A lot of burritos out there.
Now I'm a little bit worried about all like the Taqueria Cancuns of this world because it's been a year since I've checked, at least until
Yeah,
I've
man.
checked in on some of that.
They're still good
Stuff.
and going.
Just like yeah,
Yeah, I didn't realize
yes.
I ate burritos that much.
Burrito's pretty easy to hand out a window. Now that I think about it, it's real.
yeah.
It's very portable. So hopefully
Mhm.
they've weathered the storm. Okay.
you throw it like a
Just not very
football across the
deliverable.
parking lot. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Now I extremely want a burrito. We should get out of here.
When I worked at Game Informer, we had somebody dress up as Deadpool, full costume, and just come in and start throwing burritos at people. It was
It's like a promotional stunt or just like a random person?
Yep.
Or was it just
Deadpool
Dan?
game came out. No, it wasn't. But
Okay.
yeah, the Deadpool game was coming
Man.
out, and it was awkward. But we
Talk
ate
about-
well that day.
Talk about buttering up the press, man. Start throwing burritos at people.
Chimichangas.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It was not awkward at all.
All right. I cannot pick between a mission burrito and a breakfast burrito. That's too hard. So we have to stop. Let's call into the emails.
Okay.
Bombcast at
I could eat breakfast burritos all day long.
Nope.
Yeah.
3 meals a day,
Remember-
breakfast burritos every meal. I could do it.
Yum yum, baby.
It's such a start to your day. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say necessarily like a great start to your day. Tends to slow things down a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's kinda hard to get much done after a giant breakfast burrito. It's hard to do much, but sit there.
That's the gift it gives you.
I guess
The
so.
gift of
That's right.
lethargy. Just
Right.
Takes stuff away though.
That's
Definitely
right.
takes some stuff away.
That's right. All right. It's lunchtime. Let's get out of here. Thanks everybody for listening. Danny, thank you for being here as always.
pleasure.
Clip.video.
Check it out. Nothing
What
new
about
since the last time I was here, so maybe wait before you check it out.
Always out there.
We're
I'm
in
gonna type
edit
it
mode
in,
at
but
the
I'm not
moment.
going to hit enter for a few days here.
Wait a
Oh,
week, or at least.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.